Hi everybody. Renegade 67 and or 68 here with some more Let's Play Stream Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works of the Blind Variety. So, last time, something's going on with Shinji in the green room. He's got Gilly. That's weird. He also seems to know a lot about Gilly. That's unexpected. I thought Kirei would just leave him in the dark. But he didn't, so Shinji knows a lot. He probably doesn't know enough to know that Kirei's just, feeding his ego because it amuses him, and not because he actually respects him or anything. But, we'll deal with that trauma when we have to. For now, Shiro feels all numb and stuff. He's going through one of those awkward phases we all do in life around this time. Your body doesn't start feeling like your body, okay, not quite. But yeah, sort of magical kind of puberty. And it's affecting him in weird ways. And Saber's still like, no, make me food. I mean, it can be a simple food, but make me food. I need food in my stomach, Shiro. Don't rest, make food. We didn't end up seeing Ren, so she came over to our house. So now she's here. And now we're going to have a talk. And maybe we can have a little bit of an intervention. Or maybe not at all, and Shiro will keep doing bad habits. It's so easy for him to ignore hard truths, because everybody just fucking lets him. We'll see. Will that continue? Let's see. So, after the three of us have lunch, we talk about our future plans. Do we talk about your numbness at all, though? The topic, of course, is Castor. Oh, we're not talking about numbness. Alright then. We talk for about 4 hours on how to beat her at the Rito Temple, but the results are not good. You talked for 4 hours? That's 4 hours Shiro could have been resting. 4 hours of talking about what? I guess battle tactics? We don't even have the best strategist here. Where's Archer? He's the guy who knows what's up. So Rin, Saber, and Shiro talking about how to approach the temple. Sure, but it's gonna be hard, but we use our instincts anyways, right? Shiro's best shit comes out with his instincts. Saber's very instinctual. I guess Saber has planned things in the past, but I think most of that I think she did have advisors and stuff too, because I think she's more, she has good tactics, but I don't think Saber's a very good strategist. 4 hours of actual hard thinking with a barely functioning Shiro. Shiro, I think Shiro has the potential to strategize, but he's not quite there yet. There's still a bit of self-doubt. Maybe self-doubt of how good his plans might be, but also just I think it comes similar to the hard truths thing, and that, if you're strategizing, where does the strategy lead? It might lead to, in the end, you have to kill someone. He doesn't want to think about that, so he ends up doing stuff on the fly. His tactics are okay. I think Rin's got really, really good tactics, and she tends to just not strategize in general and just let shit come out at her, for similar reasons to Shiro, I think, because she doesn't want to have to think about the whole, oh, I might have to kill them at the end part. So I feel Archer is definitely the best when it comes to raw strategy. Artoria seems like a military commander and not a mindset suited, for quite a small conflict. Maybe she can strategize with a whole army. We talk about 4 hours and how to beat her at the Rito Temple, but the results are not good.
結局正面からの実力行使しかないってわけね。セイバーの話が本当なら、サーバントは正門からしか入れないって言うし。
Geez, I guess the only thing we can do is to beat them straight on. If what Saber's saying is true, servants can only go in from the front entrance. If you want to talk for a second about an actual strategy, how about a decoy? Servants can only go in from the front entrance, but we know what happened last time, right? Assassin was distracted by Saber. So what if, again, one of them distracts Assassin while the other one gets to sneak in? Maybe the better one who's better at dealing with Castor, whoever that is. Is Saber better at dealing Castor? There's that idea. There's also, well, maybe we can convince Assassin based on the knowledge we have. He seems to not like Caster very much, so maybe there's something we can take advantage of there, possibly. Also, can Kazuki be convinced if, he seems apathetic, but is he apathetic towards, let's say, Issei? All these are potential angles we could go at if we wanted to strategize beyond just fight. But, yeah, exactly. Assassin let Archer get in last time, and the way he talked about it, the implication was very strong that he does not like Caster very much. Anyways, servants can only go in from the front entrance.
そうですね。あの山には霊体に対する強力な結界が張られていますから、私では正門から突入するしか手はありません。クラス的に単独行動が可能であるアーチャーならば、多少の無理は効くでしょうが。
That seems fishy. Promise to full on saber duel if Assassin turns a blind eye on Archer during some bullshit. I mean, yeah, that's true, because Assassin did say, Saber, we'll fight again. And Saber's like, yeah, if she did promise a duel, he definitely would turn another blind eye. But, there's a strong boundary field against spirits on that mountain. My only option will be to enter from the front gate. Since Archer has independent action as his class ability, I'm sure he can manage to get in there by force. The implication was Assassin let him get in last time, so now you're saying he can get in anyway because of his class ability? I understand that he has the independent action class ability, but does that affect this? That feels so, I don't know. Independent action B. Ability that allows independent movement even after the master's magical energy supply is cut off. This does not explain at all that that's what independent action does. I feel like all this noodly stuff is either over-explained or under-explained. They over-explain under-important parts and then under-explain important parts. I think it's problematic when it comes to actually strategizing, which is why, I don't know, they don't do it much, which is, I guess, makes it okay. But, yeah, I don't know. This kind of noodly stuff in the actual strategering is easier to wrap your head around if all this stuff is properly explained in a concise manner, but independent action kind of makes sense. Maybe he gets cut off from the mana going through that field and therefore he can get in. Okay, I guess, but all servants can act without their master for some time. They don't instantly disappear. So, I don't know. I don't know exactly what that means, but alright. I'm sure he can manage to get in there by force. And again, though, if that's the plan, if the independent action is what lets him get in, why was the implication that Assassin let him get in last time? Which is it? I don't know. That just seems like you're contradicting yourself, but...
で、無理して疲弊しきった体で境内に上がったら、キャスターが待ち伏せているわけだろ？そんなのいい的じゃないか。
And after he manages to get in there with all his might, Cass will be waiting for him, right? That's not good at all.
まあね、的を射るあいつが的にされてちゃしょうがないわ。アサシンだけならセイバーとアーチャーのコンビで倒せるだろうけど、境内に上がった後、キャスターをどう追い詰めるかも問題か。
You're right. He can't be the target when he's the one who should be shooting the target. Well, I'm sure Saber and Archer would be able to beat Assassin together, but Assassin wouldn't think that's very fair. But cornering Caster after getting into the temple would be another problem. Cornering Caster after getting into the temple. I mean, if we beat Assassin together, then maybe afterwards we can beat Caster together. I just don't think Caster is going to let us fight Assassin alone. She might, though. She definitely does not care about Assassin. So if she had some big thing she was brewing, that, if Assassin can just hold enough for just long enough, then maybe she would let that happen. But, if she does let it happen, though, then she probably has some big plan, which is why we'd want to split up in the first place. But she could just not let it happen. So,
エミヤ君の話じゃとんでもない魔力の貯蔵量だっていうし、下手に追い詰めたら流動寺ごと道連れにされかねない。
From what I heard from Emiya-kun, there's a big pool of magical energy there. If we corner her badly, she might take us out along with the whole Rito Temple. That would be bad, so what's the plan? Maybe we need to somehow convince Kazuki to do a backstab throat rip on Caster. Yeah, I mean, if we can convince him that she's fucking with Issei, and if he does care about Issei, then maybe there's something there. They haven't really brought up the possibility, But knowing this game, it might be something they only bring up in the moment where Shiro's like, oh wait, maybe he actually likes Issei. Aha, plan. Which does make it more dramatic, don't get me wrong. But, you know, the peak drama would be you plan something in advance, something in the moment causes it to go awry, and then in the moment you think of some niche thing and like, oh, of course, I could try that instead. And, you know, following through. But instead, this game, a lot more often, which, you know, it tends to just not really have much of a good plan beforehand, and then come up with some smart thing in the moment. And I guess it's better to come up with a smart thing in the moment than come up with it beforehand and then have it go perfectly according to plan, because things going perfectly according to plan like that usually is boring. But, still. If we corner her badly, she might take us out along with the whole Rito Temple.
確かにキャスターは潔い死を迎える性質ではないようでしたし、自らが滅びるなら私たちごと爆散しかねない。無論そうなれば竜道寺も消え去りますが。
Certainly, Castor does not seem like someone who will graciously accept death. If she's going to die, she will try to take us down with her. It does not need to be mentioned that the Rito Temple will be destroyed as well in that case. Like, here's an example. Let's say they plan to convince Assassin. Let's say their strategy is that, oh, we remember Assassin was, you know, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there's some way to convince Assassin to turn him against her. Maybe that's our plan. We go in with that plan, we get there, it fails for some reason. And then, on the fly, Shiro's like, wait, convincing someone? Maybe we can convince Kazuki! And then it works on the fly. Like, that's the kind of thing. The layered, you have a plan, it's a good idea, it doesn't work, but then you use the idea behind the idea in the moment to go for a different approach, and that works. That's generally what makes for a fun, strategical, you know, battle, as it were. But, maybe that's why Archer didn't kill Castor. Maybe he knew Castor would just blow the whole temple up. That fits. He gave quite an excuse in that case. Maybe he didn't want to say it because he didn't want to trigger Castor to tempt her. I suppose. That's definitely a potential reason Archer didn't do it. For sure, for sure. He's such a he's such a self-hater that, or he doesn't care people hating him, which is an extent of self-hatred, you know. But then he goes after Shiro because of his I think him attacking Shiro was an emotional response. Probably linked to the fact that Shiro is him from the future past, and he felt some wiggly wogglies in his wiggly wogglies, so he attacked Shiro emotionally, and not out of any strategic merit. It does not need to be mentioned that the Rito Temple will be destroyed as well in that case.
Saber, しれっと怖いこと言うよな。
Don't say scary things, Saber.
キャスターのやつ、追い詰められたら自爆するっていうのか。
Are you saying Castor will self-destruct if we corner her?
するでしょう、そりゃ。
I bet you she would.
しますね、おそらく。
She probably will. Ellipses. She didn't when Gil killed her, but she wasn't at the temple, and maybe like one of those magic piercing weapons he was using prevented her from doing an explosion. They're in perfect unison. Come to think of it, Saber and Tosaka have the same opinions, and it seems like they approve of each other in combat. Yep. Both of them are saying not to attack there, so challenging the temple must be really hard. Okay, don't be small brain, Shiro. This is you being small brain, Shiro. There's smarter ways to go about this. You don't have to just say, they're both smart, and they're agreeing, therefore they must be right. Use your own opinions, Shiro.
ああ、なんだ。もうこんな時間なんだ。
Oh, is this there already? What is that bell? Is it a bell in Shiro's house? Does he just have a bell in his house? The clock sounds echo through the living room. Oh, I guess he does just have like a grandfather clock or something. Interesting. It's 6 o'clock and the sky is tinted red.
とりあえず、話し合いはここまでだな。
Well, I guess the meeting's over. So, are you gonna rest, or are you gonna eat? Is Rin sleeping over? What's going on here?
そろそろ夕飯の支度をしないと。
I have to start preparing dinner. You haven't you prepared lunch, had a long talk, and then you're going on to prepare dinner with no rest? So the assassin plan is out of the question. It doesn't matter how much firepower we bring to her if she just self-destructs. We gotta somehow surprise her. Oh, yeah. She obviously doesn't trust Assassin, and if we trust her own words, killed Kazuki last time, and therefore doesn't trust Kazuki. We don't know if she knew Kazuki was that powerful in the other timeline, so maybe she wouldn't have killed him if she knew. Although she probably still would anyways if she doesn't think she has a use for him anymore. Seems to be very selfish. She kills her servant, she kills her master. And she'll self-destruct if she's gonna go down. So yeah, surprising her is the best option. But how do we surprise her coming to the temple is hard to say. If Archer can sneak by without being sensed at all, that's our best option. But like a one-shot snipe is hard to do. So I don't know. If we can lure her out of the temple, maybe killing her out of the temple is easier because she died out of the temple last time. But like that would involve them knowing that she's building up to a plan to abduct Saber and take her body. And like we can't really know that's what she's doing. We can only assume she's building up to something really bad and we should stop it. We can't assume that, oh, we should let it happen because then we can take advantage of her weakness and kill her then. Even if that's true, you know, we can't think like that necessarily unless Shiro pulls knowledge from the other timeline. Then we could think like that. Anyways, I guess the meeting's over. I have to start preparing dinner. I get up. I'll be making codfish pot tonight, so it won't take that long for me to cook it. All I need to do is cook the rice and make something. Okay, yeah, are you still numb though? Based on the dashes, I think you're still numb, Shiro. Cook the rice and make something that'll go with the pot.
何よ、エミヤ君。人の顔ジロジロ見ちゃって。
What? Why are you looking at me, Emiya-kun? Oh, he's wondering if you're still staying or not. Dish. Well, why is she making herself at home when we're about to make dinner? She helped you recover, so maybe she even helped you change your clothes. Maybe she's seen you naked already. I don't know, though. She probably didn't care back then, though. At least, not the extent she cares now. She probably still cared a bit, though.
それにさっきからずっと離れているし、そこがエミヤ君の定位置かどうかは知らないけど、話し合いをするんだからもっと近くにいないと不便でしょ。なんだってそんなとこにいるのよ、あなたは。
Okay, Shiro might do that not on purpose. Rin, you're doing that 100% on purpose. And you're sitting so far away from me. I don't know if that's your usual spot, but it's inconvenient unless you come closer while we're talking. Why are you sitting way over there? Come on, Rin. You know what you're doing. Don't pretend you don't know what you're doing. Even if you don't understand that Shiro has the hots for you, you have to understand that he gets cooties. Tosaku, sitting magnificently at the table, stares at me, who is sitting at the very corner. There's only one reason why I'm distracting myself from Tosaku.
バカ言え。俺の定位置はお前が陣取ってるところだよ。それを遠坂が横取りするからこうなったんだろ。
Don't be so soon, Shiro. Shut up! My usual place is right where you're sitting. It's like this because you stole that spot. I complain with all my might. What a whiner.
ははそっか。外じゃマスター同士ってことで気にならなかったけど、自分の家の中になったら素に戻るってことね。
Oh, maybe you really didn't notice. You actually can be blunt sometimes, huh, Ren? Oh, I see. You didn't care about it outside of here since we're masters, but you go back to being yourself back at home, huh? You're 100% right about the strategy stuff in this VN. I have a lot of complaints on how they just pull random magic shit in the middle of fights, but don't really care because I'm here for the character writing interactions. Yeah, it's fun character dissection. And you know, they can make for some interesting twists in the moments, and it does seem like Shiro's more coming up with smart ideas in the moment at least, but yeah, the pre-planning is very lacking. But anyways, you didn't care about it outside of... Interesting, though, that Rin didn't seem to catch on before. She came so bluntly into our house without caring. I assumed she did that because she cared about Shiro, and was worried that he, you know, wasn't there, and then was trying to deflect, and then went into serious Rin mode. But it's interesting how there's a back and forth, where they both seem to have their zones, where they notice and don't notice. And where they're blunt and not blunt. They're similar in that way, but their zones happen at different times. It's like... Shiro notices when, like, it's actually really close to home and stuff. And they're in their own homes, I guess. Where Rin notices just... It's interesting. I guess it's just based on the things Shiro says. She pays more attention to his words than the exact situation, and his actions as well. So the action of being squeamish away tipped her off. But it didn't tip her off initially, because she was just thinking, oh, I'm going to casually have dinner here without thinking anything of it, because she's been over to his place. As far as she's concerned, she's already severed that contract, that thing of coming into the enemy's headquarters or whatever. And she was very casual about stuff like this in Timeline 1 too. It's not unusual for her to act like this, but it's interesting to see what makes her notice the tip-off. Because Shiro was acting squirmish already, and she didn't notice until he responded. You go back to being yourself, right? But back in the bit.
悪いかバカ。男なんだからこんなの普通の反応だ。
Is that bad, you idiot? This is normal since I'm a guy. I guess her mind works in kind of phases, and she was still just, no reason to think about it phase. Yeah, that's fair. It's what they consider like Shiro considers this house, personal and stuff. Where Rin probably doesn't consider, she considers like the magical stuff she has personal, but maybe doesn't consider the actual stuff itself very personal. Like I think of how, I believe in the prologue, she had her thing that she got from her dad, the magical thing that had magical stuff left over, and she used that to save Shiro, and then she just kind of left it, yeah, I think that's right. She left it, and Archer had to go back for it, if memory serves. And then she said something like, oh, I don't care because it doesn't have the magical energy in it anymore. And it's like, now that could be deflecting, but it suggests that she only cares about the actual magical heritage that her father has passed on to her, because she feels like she has to because of the pride. And that sort of makes her ignore all the superficial stuff. But Shiro was not raised as a magic, so he pays attention to the superficial stuff. Anyways, is that bad, you idiot? This is normal since I'm a guy. You don't act so tough. That response, the father magic jewel situation. Yeah, you don't have to act so tough. I suppose that's fair, but the fact that she even says it, I think implies that that's how she raised her shield, and I think lies are steeped with the truth. But anyways, all this because I'm surprised Rin didn't already notice in advance that he was all squirmish and didn't know what that was, because I felt like Rin was more up and up on that stuff, because I feel like she is more of a Shiro-sexual than Shiro is a Rin-sexual, I'd argue. But anyways, this is normal since I'm a guy. Maybe they're leveling their playing field at this point. It's strange not to be nervous when it's a girl of my age and Tosaka at that. I've been having the meeting normally, frantically telling myself that we're both masters. It's pitiful, but I was nervous at the meeting, and I don't know how many cups of tea I had. Yeah, though, she's still calling him Emiya. Even though she did react and call him Shiro a couple of times, she's still sticking to that Emiya, even though she had fully converted to Shiro by this point in Timeline 1, long ago, shortly after their alliance started, I believe. So she still, I don't think, has fully let herself give in, which is interesting. I don't know how many cups of tea I had.
でもおかしくない？セイバーだって女の子だし、聞いた話じゃ藤村先生もさくらもここに来るんでしょ？なら私だって似たようなものじゃない。
Isn't that strange? Saber's a girl too, and from what I hear, Sakura and Fujimura sensei come here as well, right? Then I should be no different. So why do you think you're different, Rin? Do you think that he actually likes you the way you like him? Do you think you actually have a hand in the relationship? Or maybe it's just because mixing the master life and the personal life. Maybe that's what she thinks it is, if she doesn't think that I like her. Because if she thinks I like her, then, that should make her feel a little like, because she likes me. Ellipses. It's not! Saber and Tosaka are different. Fujine and Tosaka are different. And Sakura and Tosaka are different. I still love that. Tosaka can, it blends together. I don't know, there's this one, I loaded up like this one point earlier, and just the way he says Mato Sakura Tosa, I don't know. Anyways, it makes me laugh more than it should. First of all, I can handle being with Saber because she's someone to fight alongside with. You couldn't handle her as well in Timeline 1. You've calmed down in your cooties a little, but handle being with Saber because she's someone to fight alongside with. Okay.
いいからもう帰れ。うちはこれから夕飯なんだ。大阪も家であーちゃんが待ってるんだろ。
Just go home. We're having dinner now. Archer's waiting for you at your place too, right? If you push too hard, she might get a little upset. If you push only a little hard, though, she'll enjoy it.
あら、結論が出てもないのに帰れるわけないでしょ。
Oh, I can't go home when we haven't decided anything yet.
夕飯をごちそうになった後、今後の方針を決めるんじゃないの？
Aren't we going to talk about our future plans after we eat dinner? Oh, geez, you're really laying it on, Ren. Future plans? Are you playing that off as future plans as masters, or are you really going future plans? Oh. You fought a bit with Tosaka as well, Shiro. Oh yeah, as far as battle partners? In fact, not only did you fight with her, you fought against her. That might make it the most giggity. Dash. The way she said it, yeah. Oh, I feel really dizzy. Because of your numbness?
それはもう決定してる事項なのか、
大
阪。
Is that already determined, Tosaka? I mean, you just spent 4 hours talking about how you're gonna fight Caster, right? Doesn't seem like you, spent much time, talking about, you know, how you're gonna deal with the rest of the field of masters and servants.
違うの？嫌なら別にいいけど。じゃあエミヤ君はキャスターに関してはしばらく放置ってことでいいんだ。
Am I wrong? I don't care if you don't want to. Yes, you do. So you're fine with letting Caster do whatever she wants for a while, huh? I thought we already talked about Caster for 4 hours. You still want to talk more about Caster? You come up with a better excuse. It's too easy. I swallow my words.
シロ、リンの言い分は正しいのではないですか？別に彼女が滞在しても問題はないわけですし。
Saber, you're missing the point. Shiro, she does have a point. There's no problem even if she stays here. Saber, you with your love denseness in this timeline should maybe stay out of this. To make things worse, Saber is on Tosaka's side. That's because she doesn't understand Tosaka's side.
わかった。けど、飯が口に合わなくても知らないからな。それと藤村先生も来るだろうから、その時はお前が解き伏せてくれよ。
Alright, but I won't be held responsible if you don't like the food here. And Fujimura sensei, will be coming, so you can convince her.
わかってるわかってる。エミヤ君の料理の腕はお昼で確認済みだし、藤村先生のことも知ってるわ。両方とも承知の上だから気にしないで。
I know. I already know how good you are from the lunch you made. Ooh. And I also know about Fujimura sensei. I'm aware of it, so don't worry about it.
後悔しても知らないからな。
I won't be held responsible even if you regret it later on. Now she's letting the blush show a little bit. I look away from her and head to the kitchen. Then, I wash my hands. Okay, any numbness? Where's the numbness? I wash my hands, go to put on my apron, and notice that it's not there. Has it been stolen? Rin's just after free food. Free Shiro food, though. It's a little bit different than just regular free food. What do you think she is, some taiga? I mean, I guess taiga is just generally after Shiro free food, too. But she accepts Sakura free food as well. So, you know, I don't think she's, you know, as picky as Rin just wants to get, you know, into Shiro through all of the means. Food is just one. No. First of all, I don't even remember taking it off after preparing lunch in front of Tosaka. No way, have you been wearing it this whole time? Have you been wearing the apron? Oh, that's great. That's great. No wonder you were so easy to make fun of. Rin has to have noticed something was up for you to have been wearing it that whole time and not have noticed. But is she going to intervene? Maybe not, because she just enjoys it too much. Shiro's going through some serious shit right now, Rin. Gosh.
What?
Eh? Why do I keep doing that? I see Han, I want to say eh, but he says ore. I look around. Tosaka looks at me, laughs, and...
それと言い忘れてたけど、 男の子としてエプロンをつけたまま動き回るのはどうかと思うわよ。
Oh,
エミヤ
I forgot to tell you. I don't know about a guy walking around in an apron, Emiya-kun. Oh, nice. You waited till the very end, of course. You discussed strategy the whole time. Were you able to competently discuss strategy, or were you distracted by him and his apron? Shiro's real way to become a hero of justice. Just cook his way to world peace. I mean, you know, I think you can have, you know, there's a lot of people you could sway with some good food. Maybe not everyone, but some people. Maybe all Castro needs is a good whopping of Shiro food, and she'll be like, you know what, you're right, I should be a good guy if it means I can eat more Shiro food. Could happen. You don't know. Speaks with an expression of triumph. What about your numbness, Shiro? I cut the codfish. I've cut up the cabbage and the white radish is grated. You cut it with a knife? What about your numbness?
よし。次は出し取った鍋に具を入れて火をつけるだけだ。
Alright. All I need to do is put these in the soup and put it on the stove. The pot is boiling. It's a simple dish, so the soup is like the only thing I can work on. Okay. That went well, so all that's left is to prepare the plates. And you drop them again.
ただいまー。寒い寒い。雪降ってきたよ。
I'm home! Man, it's so cold, it started snowing. So you didn't drop them? Are you doing better, Shiro? And if you are, since when? Maybe Rin showed up, made you feel better. Maybe Rin showing up made you feel better because maybe all along interaction with Rin is what you needed because, you know, that's pseudo interaction with your real self Archer, and being with Rin is like you being Archer being with Rin, so you're adjusting to your new Archer form. It's cold, so that it started snowing. This commotion as Fujine comes home.
おかえり。雪降ってきたんだ、外。
Oh. Oh, come, it started snowing outside? Oh, that's foreshadowing for, Shiro's just gonna live with half his body numb for the rest of his life. It's snowing. That's probably foreshadowing for Ilya is about to be relevant in the narrative again. Because, yeah, Ilya, she talked to us in that one conversation about how it's, like, really cold where she comes from, I think. And also, I think I just remember that being a thing. I'm pretty sure she talked to us about it also. But, so I think the snow is foreshadowing more Ilya soon. I could be completely reading that wrong, but I think so. It started snowing outside?
小ぶりだけど結構積もりそうよ。はっ、今夜は鍋物だ。さすが白、冴えてるじゃない。
Yeah, it's not much.
お酒とか飲んじゃおうか
But
な
it looks like it'll pile up. Wow, we're having pot food for dinner? Pot food. Pot. Great going, Shiro. Wow, I feel good. Maybe I should have some alcohol. Oh, but okay, that's sudden. Fujine goes in the living room saying scary things.
お邪魔しています、藤村先生。
Hello, Fujimura sensei. I'm actually gonna react to that.
あ、東坂さんだ。どうしたの？白んちで会うなんて珍しいね。
Oh, it's Tosaka-san. What's going on? It's rare for me to see you here. It's rare? Have you ever seen her here? No, you haven't. That's right. I remember when Rin was over, you weren't there the one time. Rin, because you were supposed to be with Sakura, helping her do something that night or something, so you weren't there that one night, so you never saw her there. So you should be freaking out more, because this is your first time. Probably in about a second, you're going to snap and go, what? Tosaka? Ellipses question mark? Fujine naturally accepts Tosaka's greeting. She hums, goes past the living room, comes into the kitchen. No? No?
いいタラじゃない。雪見のタラは極上だって言うし、ますますお酒が似合いそう。
Or did you play some kind of magical tricksy wixie on her mind? Wow, that's a good codfish. They say white codfish is the best, so sake is really going to taste good with that. It's not like the weather would be any different than the last timeline. Yeah, but in the last timeline, I remember we had a talk with Ilya about snow, so probably it seems significant to Ilya's caricature. So I think this is like the Ilya day night thing. I don't know. Whatever. Snow, white. Snow is the color white. Ilya has white hair. Foreshadowing. Always, every timeline. We'll see. She's not just shown. She also just hasn't shown up in forever, so there's merit to suspecting it. Fujine opens the refrigerator. And then when it becomes true, I can say it was foreshadowing all along, even if it was just a coincidence. Fujine opens the refrigerator. Then, after taking out a snack and eating it... Of course. Fucking Taiga. Rin passed the refrigerator test. Taiga didn't think it was weird until she took a bite to eat from the refrigerator. Wait, why is Tosaka-san here? You're used to seeing Tosaka-san a lot at school, maybe. But, yeah, seeing her here should not be normal. It would get you thinking, wait, boyfriend and girlfriend? Rin would want so. But will she? Does she want so? I don't think she's fully accepted her. She would just be calling me Shiro at this point. She's hesitant, or she wouldn't still be calling me Emiya. Tosaka-san, it's not hello. What are you doing here at this time? After swallowing her snack, Fujine marches into the living room.
何って、エミヤ君の家で夕飯をご馳走されているのですが、そういう藤村先生こそチャイムも押さずに上がり込んでくるなんて非常識ではないんですか?
Emiya-kun is treating me to dinner. Oh, the way you word that, Rin. That's so good. As for you, aren't you lacking a bit of common courtesy, coming in here without ringing the doorbell? Oh, Rin. Oh, you're great. Oh, in Timeline 1, it was Saber that eventually, essentially defeated Taiga, as it were. Whereas Rin was, I think, a little more casually accepted by Taiga. I mean, it was probably still abrupt, but I think this one has more Rin being the one to defeat Taiga, as it were. Tosaka army calmly counterattacks Fujine. You don't sound very confident about that, Taiga. I'm a supervisor here. Love seeing Rin being the polite, honor student, passively, aggressively insulting people. Oh, she's so good at it. Shiro! エミヤ君のお父さんから任されているんですから、ここでは家族も同然なの。Of course! You switched to calling up Emiya-kun because you know Rin did. Rin was being all polite and stuff. So you try to be all, you know, hi, but you're so bad at it. Shiro, Emiya-kun's dad put me in charge here, so I'm like family here. But Rin already knows that because she investigated Sakura. That's right, because that's why she knew where I live in the first place in the prologue. But
そうなんですか。じゃあ改めて挨拶をしますね。
I see. Then I shall formally greet you.
お邪魔しています藤村先生。今日は一日ここで過ごしていました。夕食後もエミヤ君とは試験勉強しますけど、どうぞお構いなく。
Hello, Fujimura-sensei. I spent the whole day here. I'll continue to study for the exam with Emiya-kun after dinner, but please do not mind us. That's one excuse. That's a pretty good excuse. Study for the exam. I guess there is an exam coming up. There's always an exam coming up. I mean, unless you catch them at a really weird time. But usually, you could always say, oh, we're studying for the exam that's coming in, you know, the exam that's the next one, the second one, not the first one that just happened, the next one. We did badly on this one. Or rather, Shiro did badly, so I'm helping him study in advance for the next. There's always some, you know, exam, test-related excuse you can come up with.
Shiro! じゃなくて、エミヤ君! これはどういうことですか? 東坂さんと勉強会を開くなんて、いつの間にそんなことになってたのよ!
I love Taiga trying to be formal. She's so bad. Well, Shiro, no, Emiya-kun, what is the meaning of this? Since when did you decide to hold a study session with Tosaka-san?
先生、呼びにくいのでしたら無理をなさらずに。
Sensei, please do not push yourself if it is hard to address him that way.
別に先生がエミヤ君をどう呼ぼうと私には関係ありませんから。呼び捨てにしようが、ちゃんをつけようが、個人のプライバシーは尊重しますし。
It does not concern me how you may call Emiya-kun. I do not care if you call him by his name or with Chan added on. I respect people's privacy. Why don't you start calling him Emiya-chan then, Ren? I think you do respect him a little too much to call him a Chan.
もしかしてさくらちゃんから聞いてる？
Tosaka-san, did you hear about it from Sakura-chan? Hear about what from Sakura-chan? About Saber? What are you talking about?
そう、残念ですが麻藤さんが何を話していたのかも個人のプライバシーですから、その質問には答えられません。けど先生の想像通りだといいですね。
So respectful. Rin is just being such respectful talk. Too respectful. It's great. I cannot say what Mato-san was talking about, since I must respect her privacy. And that's a big change, because I'm pretty sure Rin almost always calls Sakura Sakura. I could be wrong about that, but I believe Rin calls Sakura Sakura, but goes out of her way to say Mato-san here, to, you know, to add on the politeness. Does Taiga call Shiro Shiro-chan? Oh, I don't think I noticed if that's the case. Or wait, if she does, no, I guess she does. If she does, then I guess that's what they're talking about, that Rin knows that she calls Shiro Shiro-chan, which means Rin heard about it from I understand the conversation now, okay. I cannot say what Mato-san was talking about, since I must respect her privacy as well, but I wish it is as you imagine. I wish it is as you imagine? That's a weird way to put it. Fujine falters in front of Tosaka's smile. Here's that Taiga calls Shiro Shiro-chan? I guess she does. I just don't think about it much. Because Taiga's not a character I think too deeply on, I suppose. You know, if she secretly turns out to be a master, I'll start reevaluating everything. But, Fujine falters in front of Tosaka's smile. I understand how Fujine feels. You feel pressured and cornered when she makes that smile.
勝負あったな。ありゃ放っておいても大丈夫だ。
I guess the match is decided. I can leave them now. Actually, it wasn't even a match to begin with. It's only a matter of time before Tosaka talks Fujine down. I'll let Tosaka take care of it and I'll go cook dinner. Or will you? Are you numb? The snow stops before the pot is empty. It only snowed for about 2 hours, so I bet there's only a bit of snow out there. Oh, wait, we're talking about snow again. More Elia foreshadowing. Har, har! The snow stops before the pot is empty. It only snowed for about 2 hours, so I bet there's only a bit of snow out there. It only snowed for 2 hours. That's foreshadowing that Elia, or rather not even foreshadowing, but a metaphor for the fact that Elia has such a small role in this playthrough because she's barely showed up so far. She's not really here to be thought deeply about. She's comic relief. I mean, sure, but like, she still has some intricate stuff to her. Like, I think she does, you know, take her role seriously as a guardian to an extent. But yeah. But there's only a bit of snow out there. Shiro, I put the dishes in the sink. Well, good for you, Taiga. Maybe you shouldn't have done that because I was going to do it. You can't tell me that I have to rest and not do things. Unless Taiga, you're going to be healthy and realize that I'm numb and that I should rest. Because otherwise, you're just taking my job. Shiro should do all the jobs.
Thank you.
Thanks, I'll go wash them real quick. I get up and head to the kitchen. You're just doing all these active things constantly, non-stop. Are you still numb?
洗い物？なら私がやろっか。ご馳走されっぱなしじゃバランスが取れないし。
Oh, how nice of you, Tosaka. Are you doing dishes? Maybe I should do it. It doesn't balance out if I'm the only one getting cheated. That's considerate, and I think it's because you're trying to get in my penis, so, you know, that's one. Well, I think you're also I think she's respectful to a point, but I think in Timeline 1, she was content to mostly mooch. She started cooking for me, but that was a bit of a different circumstance, because she had no archer. I think if this was Timeline 1 Rin in this circumstance, I think she would just let herself mooch a little more. I don't know. Debatable, though. She does have that honor to her of wanting to reciprocate, you know, be made even, not have debts. I think it can be read both ways. It doesn't balance out if I'm the only one getting cheated. Depends on what she does afterwards, I suppose. Toshio gets up as Fujine sits down. The proposal is delightful, but I can't let a guest do the dishes. I have to keep hating myself, so I have to be the one doing all the dishes, of course. Of course, it'd be different. I'd be over at her house. Then I'd be volunteering to do the dishes because she can't do her own dishes. I'm the guest. I have to do the dishes. Pfft. Didn't she cook just to show Shiro up? Oh, yeah, that's right. Rin has a weird thing about favors and debts. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know if she'd feel indebted in this circumstance. But yeah, it might have been... You might be right that it was more... In this kind of stuff, when it comes to general treating niceties, I don't think her debts play as much into it. I could see the reasoning being in Timeline 1 that she wanted to prove to Shiro how good of a cook she was, and that's why she was cooking. Not necessarily because she felt like she owed it to be the cook sometimes. That sounds like it could be correct to me. So I think this is telling, if that is true, that in these kind of small niceties she doesn't care, and she would just let herself be treated, possibly. The fact that she's acting like she cares, I think, yeah, it does seem weird to me. It does seem weird. Anyways. I can't let the guest do the dishes.
いい、貸しにしとく。食ったばかりなんだから、おとなしくしてろよ。ところで、藤姉は後で風呂を沸かすこと。
Oh, okay. You're actually getting her to do something out of it, though. No, you'll just owe me one. Just sit there since you just ate. You just ate too, Shiro. And Fujine, you're to go prepare the bath. Wait, Fujine's to prepare the bath for Rin? Okay, well, I mean, you know... Oh boy, is this the time where we get to see Rin's bath scene? We got so many with Saber.
はいはい、わかってます。
Alright, I know. And now Rin might feel like she's being overtreated. Especially because, you know, she likes Shiro. Fujine is obedient, maybe because she's full now, of course. It'd be easy for me if she were always like this, but that'd be kind of boring as well. You admit that you enjoy the drama. You still are feeling numb, Shiro. God damn it. Oh, I dropped another plate. It's been 20 minutes since I started doing the dishes. This is the second plate I've dropped on the floor. That's bad. You know, every plate you drop is one you don't have to wash, but it's also one you have to buy a new plate. That's a waste of fucking money, Shiro. I can't excuse myself saying this because my left hand is numb. I must be lacking concentration of dropping dishes because it's such a problem. I can't excuse myself saying that it's because my left hand is numb. Yes, you can. If your left hand is numb, you're saying it's still numb, so you can excuse yourself. It's a fucking problem. Can't you just admit that it's a problem, Shiro? What the fuck? I must be lacking concentration if I'm dropping dishes because of such a small problem. Oh yeah, it's so small. It's not like it was giving you never-ending pain last night, and this numbness has been going on ever since this morning. It's totally a small problem. No, you know. I know Shiro by now. He knows it's a big problem. He's doing his thing like Timeline 1 again, where he knows, but he doesn't want to acknowledge it because he knows the implications of it are bad, and he doesn't want to think about it. But because they're very bad, he's still doing the ignoring the truth thing. I think that's the idea, is that he's mostly gotten better about that, but when it's something this bad or this weird, he's ignoring it still. Dash dash dash. I calmly think for a second that I should put it off until my left arm heals, but I shake off the idea. I calmly think for a second that I should do the healthy thing, but then shake it off and let my self-hatred continue on. I roll up my sleeves and continue with the dishes. So, Rin never at all was like, hey, Shiro, you're weird. Can you just rest? Saber is like, oh, Saber was never like, okay, I ate, now you should rest. Never! I think he's ignoring the truth because of his self-hatred issues, but not because he wants to avoid the badness. Self-hatred issues? Maybe. I feel like they're entwined. But yeah, maybe it does come more that he still hates himself a little. And so that's where it comes from. That could be true. It just definitely feels like the same thing. But yeah, I guess it's not necessarily confronting something bad. It's confronting something weird. Maybe. I roll up my sleeves and continue with the dishes. But yeah, like, okay, this really was a case of they didn't intervene at all. Rin didn't seem to notice, or she didn't say anything if she noticed. Saber's noticed, and yet still just let him do all this stuff without intervening. And then Taiga, I guess, hasn't noticed, or if she has, she hasn't said anything yet. So yes, people are just letting him do this. They shouldn't. Rin tried, but Shiro fought against it, and Rin didn't fight back. Rin, you're good at fighting back. Fight back! I can only accept it if it's some outside favor, but I can't accept an internal factor causing it. An outside favor? But an outside factor? Rin was trying to say, like, I'll do the dishes instead. Is that what you mean? But you ignored it. An outside factor, an internal come on, Shiro. There's no way I can't win against myself, so I can't admit defeat. You think this is losing to yourself? You think that's what it is to let yourself take a rest? There's no way I can't win against myself. Well, Archer did give you that spiel in Timeline 1 about how you have to be able to defeat yourself. So maybe this is going back to that, I guess, is that you think that you can overcome yourself. You can beat whatever this is, but you're looking at it wrong in that case, because sometimes you do need help from others, or they're, you know. So maybe this is you taking the lesson from Timeline 1, and you do need a follow-up lesson, even if on the surface it doesn't feel that way. As a result, I recklessly increased the damage. Yeah, are you noticing now that it's a problem yet? This is the third plate I've dropped. I put a towel below me after I dropped the first one, so it fortunately did not break. Lucky. It shouldn't be a problem, but... Oh, has Rin been watching you the whole time? I think by now, Rin, maybe you'll notice something was up. Saber's been getting to the heart of my bullshit for the most part throughout the game, but maybe it's your time to start cutting through my bullshit. I think it's your turn. It's really awkward having Tosaka's eyes on me every time I drop a plate.
藤村先生、エミヤ君っていつもああなんですか?
No, he's not! Fujimura-sensei, is Emiya-kun always like that? I can hear Tosaka from the living room.
バカ言わないで。シロはお皿を割ったことなんて今まで一度もなかったんだから。
Don't be stupid.
登坂さんを意識して緊張してるのよ。
Shiro has never broken a plate before. I bet he's nervous because you're here. There are two options here. Maybe he actually is nervous because you're here, in which case that should be you understanding just how much he likes you, but that's not the reason. The real reason, which, if you do understand that, he does like you, and so if you go down that track, at least that's progress in one direction, but that's progress in the wrong direction at the moment, because the other track is, no, he's just kind of fucked up, which is probably where your mind will go. I don't know, it depends. It depends on how much you have love on the mind. I don't know, but it depends because I know Shiro is less willing to understand the idea that other people can like him because of his self-hatred. I don't know if Rin has that as well. I don't think so, at least not quite the same way. She might think that it's hard. She doesn't want necessarily Shiro to like. We went over this, I think, yeah. She doesn't necessarily want Shiro to like her, even though she likes Shiro and she enjoys his company. If anything, she's more of a shipper for Sakura because she doesn't want to drag Shiro down into her nonsense magical life. At least, not yet. But if he likes her that much, then maybe she's willing to reciprocate or just let it happen. I think when she does, she'd start calling him Shiro.
もちろん外敵として。
Because you're his enemy. I don't think that's quite right. Fujine adds. Dash. Tosaka ignores her and stares at me. You're trying to think what the real reason is? Is it because of romance or something else that's wrong with me? It's one or the other. Ellipses. This is hard. Half my body is numb, so if she watches me and distracts me... Whoa! Shimata, indeed. I cluck my tongue and look down at the broken plate. This is the fourth one now. I knew I was going to drop it, but I couldn't move my left hand quickly enough. Ellipses. I slowly look behind me. Dash. She's watching me. Is she going to intervene, or is she not sure how to deal with the situation yet? Maybe if it is that you actually just like her that much, she's feeling her own cooties, and she's not sure how to respond to the situation. And that's where her mind is. And if it's anything else, if it is that he's fucked up in some way, I haven't really shown that overtly, so she's not sure where that would go either. And she doesn't want you to be fucked up, so maybe she's like, well, that would be avoiding hard truths, which is more of a Shiro Shinji thing, but maybe she's thinking, you know, it would be her admitting to herself that she does want him to like her, though, if she goes for that angle over there's something wrong with him, though. Tosaka is observing me really closely. Then, she suddenly gets up and comes over here.
エミヤ君、私がやるから休んでいて。
Emiya-kun, I'll do it, so you go and rest. So I think your mind is in the right place at the moment. I think you do realize something's wrong with me. You aren't going the love angle because you don't want to go the love angle. That sounds about right.
いや、それは。
But...
割れた皿は踏まないでね。どこにしまえばいいのかは見当がつくから、あなたはお茶でも飲んでなさい。
Don't step on the broken plate, okay? I can figure out where to put what, so you can go drink some tea. So far, I definitely... I mean, it's cheating to say this right now, because we aren't finished. So far, I'd say I still prefer the Saber romance to the Rin romance. I think and I like... I don't know. I like the chemistry they share, just in general, their dynamic between Shiro and Rin. Saying a character I like more is tough. I think I like Saber as a character more than Rin, but it's close? I don't know. Obviously, as the relationship progresses, I might change my mind on which pairing I enjoy more. But anyways, don't step on the broken plate, okay? I can figure out where to put what, so you drink some tea. Rin being actually responsible, letting Shiro rest. Oh, sure, that's true, that's fair. But it makes more sense for her to... Yeah, Saber should have done it too, but, I mean, you're right, Saber should have done it too. Oh yeah, Shiro and his sword dreams, those are the real shit, for sure. I can figure out where to put what, so you can go drink some tea. Tosaka rolls up her sleeves and stands by the sink. I mean, Rin, you can say Rin is beating Saber in terms of noticing his bullshit and helping out within this timeline, but she also stood back and didn't help much when there was a lot of bullshit in the other timeline when Saber did, so, you know, if it's her timeline, then it's only fair, but... Tosaka rolls up her sleeves and stands by the sink. Dash. Do we get a picture of her standing by the sink? I would only think so. I guess it can't be helped. Do we get an apron Rin picture? It's hard to stop Tosaka when she makes up her mind, and to be honest, it's vexing, but Tosaka looks so beautiful when she's washing the dishes that I'm fascinated by a figure. Okay, there we go. Back to the sexualness. That's what we needed. That's what will get your mind off the numbness, maybe? I don't know. Have you tried yet? Do we get an image? No image? You cheated me. Dang it. Fujine is the only one in the living room when I get out of the bath. Oh, you were in the bath. Well, when does Rin go in the bath so we get the pervert picture? We need pervert pictures, right? We got plenty of Saber pervert pictures. Where's our Rin pervert pictures? Of course, I'm sure that Rin's response will be a lot more generically tsundere. And I'm actually sick of the generic tsundere response. But I'll be a little more okay with it because I know that Rin's kind of one of the tropified. So, like, if you Google tsundere, Rin's picture is one of the ones that'll come up first. So I'll be more forgiving of it, though I am assuming that if we get it, that's what's going to happen. And I am a little sick of the generic tsundere response to, you know, the guy seeing the girl in the shower pose. But we'll see. Fujine is... maybe we'll see. Maybe we won't. I'm assuming we will. I mean, I just feel like it's part of the ritual is that the guy sees the girl in the shower scene, and then after that they go to their proper relationship. I mean, the girl could see the guy too. They could go both ways. Fujine is the only one in the living room when I get out of the bath. Tosaka's shoes are still at the entrance, and I bet Saber's at the dojo. I'll be pleasantly surprised if we don't get the generic tsundere response to the Shiro seeing the Rin in the shower-ish type of scene. I'll be very pleasantly surprised. Tosaka's shoes are still at the entrance, and I bet Saber's at the dojo. Okay, so Saber's training. Do we want to train with Saber? Do we get a choice? She makes fun of him for seeing her naked? How does that work? She makes fun of him for blushing. Maybe I could see that. But, like, I feel like she cares about her own womanness to some extent. If she can make fun of Shiro before worrying about her own self, I will respect that greatly. Tosaka's shoes are still at the entrance, and I bet Saber's at the dojo. It's almost 9 o'clock now. Let's see. When's our Rin shower scene? Because we got a bunch of them, you know, when we were with Saber. We had the, all the can't loads. But we had the, like, you know, the ones where, oh, look, this one, she came out of the bath. This one, she's just out of the shower. Go with the two who didn't know she was fucked, or go with waifu route. I mean, yeah. But anyways, right, so, reloaded. What is this? When's our Rin shower scene? Right. I have to talk to Tosaka. I'll go talk to Saber at the dojo. Oh, pass since it's cold. Mandarin. Mandarin? What? I'm not passing. Unless passing is the secret Ilia choice. I'll go talk to Saber at the dojo. I'm gonna do the Tosaka thing, I'd say. Tosaka's over. It's sudden. Tosaka seems to have a slight idea of what's up with me. I kind of want to follow up with that. So I think that sounds like the right thing to do, is following up with Tosaka in this circumstance. Because also, I kind of think she might have been worried about me today when I didn't show up and we didn't fully talk about that. We need to see her dare side. We've only been seeing Sun. We need the dares. Mandarin. Oh, that's right. That's probably following up on some Taiga funniness because they had Mandarin conversations. Mandarins are great. However, I want to talk to Tosaka. I say Mandarins are great as a joke, but, like, I don't know. I don't remember the last time I had a freaking Mandarin. The problem is Tosaka. The Tosaka is the problem. Is the Tosaka really the problem, or are you the problem, Shiro? Are you the problem? The problem is Tosaka. It's getting late, so I have to get her to go home. Or, you know, she sleeps over. That can happen, too.
Fujine, Tosaka 知らないか?
Oh, let me guess, she's in the bath. Or she's going into the bath after you. Fujine, do you know where Tosaka is? Or she's making herself at home? Maybe she's going to make her room like she did last time. Oh yeah, because we did talk to Taiga at some other point about fruits or something, so Mandarin's probably a Taiga conversation. Fujine, do you know where Tosaka is?
遠坂さんなら庭に出て行ったみたいよ。
Oh.
そういえば庭の端っこに何かあるんですかって聞いてきたけど。
She's investigating my place. I think Tosaka-san went out into the yard. She asked me what was over there in the corner. In the corner? Is there something suspicious? Suspicious corner? Mystery corner! Fushigi! Hey, Taiga, this rude little shit just called you fruity. I mean, you know, yeah. Alright, so, we are going to be taking our first break here. Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds correct. So, yeah, we're going to break because I got to pee and do all that stuff. Why do I have to explain this? Breaking. Okay, so, Fujine, do you know where Tosaka is? I think Tosaka went down to the yard. She asked me what was over there in the corner.
庭の端っこ?
Corner of the yard? What's in the corner of the yard? Does she mean the shed? Oh, the shed. There's some stuff to investigate there. She was all wiggly-woggly in the shed last timeline, too. That's right, and it was never fully discovered what she was looking into my magical nonsense, and how there may or may not be a summoning circle in there that I may have imagined. And if there is, then it just explains something about time loops. Does she mean the shed? But why would she have any business there? She's investigating your magical nonsense. Samui desu. It's so cold. The winter air cools down my warm body. I can't see the stars because of the clouds. And there's snow all over the grass. Barging into another Magus workshop. I mean, Shiro said that he would never dare to call it his workshop, but yeah. Can't see the stars because of the clouds, and there's snow all over the grass.
ったくこの寒い中外で何やってんだ遠坂は。
Man, what's Tosaka doing out here in the cold? I go through the yard, shivering. I consider buying a coat while I make my way over the shed. Is there a coat store, a coat for sale on the way to the shed? I know what you mean, but like, you don't own a coat? Do you never go, like, Tosaka's got a coat. Ilia's got a coat. I mean, just say, like, we know Saber has a kind of coat. You sure you don't have a coat? An actual wizard faux pas? Well, for sure. I don't doubt it. And Rin probably thinks of it as that too. But, she probably is... I assume, even though it is a faux pas, Rin, Shiro hasn't really made it clear that his shed is like his workshop, and, B, Rin might actually be looking into what's weird with Shiro. That might be why she's investigating the shed, because she realized something's up with him, because she probably doesn't think that it's related to his cooties, which he does have. But she seems to realize something weird is going on with him, so she might be investigating his magical stuff to see if it's related to magical stuff. So she's looking at his magical stuff. It makes sense from that perspective. I consider buying a coat while I make my way over the shed.
Emiya-kun!
Oh, and maybe Rin didn't want Shiro to realize that she was doing this because she realized it was kind of sacrilege, but she was doing it as a desperate attempt to maybe figure out what was going on with Shiro, even though normally she wouldn't do it because she does respect Shiro. So maybe it could be something there.
エミヤくんじゃない。こんなところで何やってんだよ遠坂。もう時間も時間だし、のんびりしてる暇はないんじゃないのか?
I don't like that translation. Come on, what are you doing here? It's getting late, so we don't have time to be playing around. He definitely said Emiya-kun in a mocking tone. He definitely said, like, Emiya-kun. Like, don't Emiya-kun me. It's getting late, so we don't have time to be playing around. He clearly said Emiya-kun, and yet the translated lines don't show the mocking tone at all, necessarily. Don't Emiya-kun me sounds closer to what he actually said. Yeah, exactly. Don't you Emiya-kun me. Oh yeah, this place is certainly cold. Oh, she's looking nervous. Probably because she does feel bad about snooping into his shed. I think she snooped into his shed in Timeline 1 too, but there it was less cooties and more, what is weird with him? How does he do projection? Why is his body heal so much? Why is he so weird? And I still think she's trying to find out why I'm weird here, but she respects me more and likes me more in this timeline, so she feels a little worse about snooping into my shit. She's suspicious. She acts so suspiciously that I'm starting to get curious.
遠坂、土蔵の扉開いてるな。
Tosaka, the door to the shed is open. Oh, you're getting curious about her curiosity? They say curiosity cured the cat. What?
私じゃないわよ。初めから開いてたんだから、それ。
Oh, I thought he was inviting her in there. No, as in it wasn't open before. The door of the shed is open. That's not me. It was open when I first got here, Baka. With how tsundere you are, how can I possibly take that as being honest?
おかしいな。外から鍵かけてたはずなんだけど。
That's strange. I thought I locked it from the outside. Then you really would be breaking in if it was locked.
それこそ冤罪よ。そもそもそのオンボロ、内側にしか鍵ないじゃない。
And you would know because you were investigating it? Oh, he caught you in a trap. Shiro was smart. That's a false charge. First of all, you can only lock that worn out door from the inside. How would you know? How would you know? You had to investigate it.
そうそう。土蔵はいつも開けっぱなしで、中からじゃないと鍵はかけられない。で、 なんでそんなことを知ってるんだ？
That a boy, Shiro! Way to be smart again in this timeline. I gotta compliment it every time. Yep, that's right. The door is always open, and you can only lock it from the inside. So how'd you know that, Tosaka? Dash, dash. She bites her lip. I'm beginning to understand that Tosaka is really weak against surprise attacks coming from unexpected places. Yeah. Iari! Objection. Tosaka is really weak against surprise attacks coming from unexpected places. That's interesting because she seems more of a speed chess person. She's not the best at preparing, like I guess because of overestimating. I think she is good at reacting, but it's interesting because maybe she's bad at surprise attacks if we mean that from a social perspective. But in terms of actual battle tactics, I think she's best at dealing with surprise attacks more than actually planning for something.
まあいいけどな。土蔵の中何もなかっただろ。
I don't care. There isn't anything in there, right? Or is there?
一応そこが俺の修練場だけど、やることと言ったら強化の練習だけだし。
That's my training
から見
place.
れば子供騙しみたいなもんじゃないか。
But all I do there is practice my strengthening magic. Isn't it like child's play for you? So maybe she decided to snoop in here so far as... Well, no, she didn't break in. We just talked about this. But maybe she decided to snoop in because she... To the shed specifically because she sensed some magicaliness from here. Like there's some... Maybe because, you know, Saber was summoned here. Maybe this is where I started to become all wiggly-woggly. No, I had to be some kind of wiggly-woggly before that. But, there's some strong swirling of magically-waggily here, but it's a weird magically-waggily. So probably the strengthening is more than just Shiro thinks it is, or something, or the circle, or something. I think she senses some waggily-waggily. Social POV, people just don't approach her due to her idol mask. That's my training place. All I do there is practice my strengthening magic. Isn't it like child's play for you? I urged Tosaka to go back to the house. But will it work? I don't know. I don't think she'll back down. Not when she cares this much about you. Then, she cares. She's going to come out and say it. Or we're just going to get randomly interrupted by something. That could be interesting too.
そう。やっぱり自覚はないのね、あなた。
Ooh, this is interesting. I see. So you're not self-conscious of it, huh? Self-conscious of what? Oh boy, oh boy. She found out there is some magically-waggily stuff in there. Some magical waggles. Tosaka glares at me as if challenging me.
遠坂。
Tosaka? Don't you Tosuck me. I ready myself with a sudden change of atmosphere. Tosaka narrows her eyes after seeing my reaction. Testing to see if I'm truthful or not. Huh.
そんなことだろうと思った。作り出している本人がそんなんじゃ失敗するのも当然よね。
I thought so. It's natural for your magic to fail if the one making it is like that. What? It's natural for your magic to fail if the one making it is like that. The one making it? I'm not the one making it? What do you mean?
ちょっと待て。それ投影魔術の話なのか。
Hold on. Are you talking about the projection magic?
そうよ。土蔵に転がってた中身のない複製品の
I'm
話。
talking about the replicas without anything inside in the shed. Is it because Shiro's a replica without anything inside? It's natural for your magic to fail if the one making it is like that. Is that just bad wording, or is there something I'm not feeling to read into here? Because it's natural for your magic to fail if the one making it is like that. You mean me? I'm making it, but I succeeded when making archers, but I fail normally because of something about me, relation to my magical... What are you talking about?
あれがどれくらい馬鹿げたことか、エミヤ君にはわからないでしょうね。手順や略式もなし、強化の延長で投影をしようなんていうあなたは、すべてにおいてデタラメよ。
Rin is saying Shiro fails because he's not self-conscious. That sounds correct. I could buy that. I bet you don't know how ridiculous that is. You have no process or simplification. You're ridiculous in every way, trying to use projection magic as an extension of strengthening magic. You don't know how ridiculous that is? No process or simplification? Are you just getting into the fact that I always get my circuit on the hard way? Getting hard.
悪かったな。
Well, I'm sorry.
いいだろ。どうせあれは強化の練習なんだから、成功しようとなんて思ってないんだ。あくまで基礎の確認に過ぎない。
But I don't intend for it to succeed, since the projection magic is only a practice for the strengthening magic. It's only a way for me to confirm my basics. Oh, and is she saying that's crazy because it should be super hard to do any projection at all, right?
それがデタラメだって言ってるの。基礎の確認で投影をするですって。いい？私以外の魔術師にそんなこと言ってみなさい。
Yeah.
あなた、ガラス蓋付きの標本箱にピンで飾られるわよ。
Projection magic is ridiculous. He shouldn't be able to do it casually to confirm his basics. It's crazy advanced. I'm telling you that's the ridiculous part. You're using projection to confirm your basics? Try telling that to a magus other than me. They'll put you in a specimen box with a glass lid and decorate you with pins. Yeah, thinking back to the ending of Timeline 1, we beat Kirei probably mostly because he did not expect the projection magic at all. You know, he was kicking Shiro's butt, and then Shiro pulled out the Avalon projection, and Kireu's like, "What the fuck?" And that gave Shiro the instant he needed to stab him with the dagger. It is not normal. Even doing like half-assed hollow versions is not normal. Try telling that to a magus other than me. They'll put you in a specimen box with a glass lid and decorate with your pins. Kiritsugu saying projection magic was useless really fucked with Shiro's point of view, huh? I mean, it's useless because it takes way too much energy to use, unless you're Shiro with shonen powers, and you're secretly good at it for some reason. Dash dash. Tosaka's words sound like a joke, but she's completely serious.
すまん、遠坂。お前の言いたいことはよくわからないんだが。要するに、もっと修行しろって言いたいのか。
I'm sorry, Tosaka. I don't quite get what you're trying to say, but are you telling me to practice more? I'm telling you, you shouldn't be this good at it.
そんなの当たり前じゃない。エミヤ君には修行あるのみよ。
That's obvious. All you can do is keep training.
けど、そうね。今すぐに戦力アップを図るなら、少し手順を変えてあげるだけで、あっさり使い物になるかもしれない。
But yeah, if we want to make you stronger, you might become useful. Useful? If we change your process just a bit. Is this the part where you give me the magical drugs so I can switch the switch on easier? Or you have other magical drugs now that you're focusing on my projection? And we're skipping the whole strengthening BS. Where did that anger go? Tosaka starts to ponder seriously. Oh, the magical scientist within her. The proud Tosaka. The part that actually enjoys magic to an extent. She enjoys it for your sake, Shiro.
手順を変えるって強化のか？
Change the process? You mean my strengthening magic? Shouldn't it be change your production magic? Because that's your best one?
もう何聞いてたのよ、どうか。強化じゃなくて投影の方に決まってるでしょ。
What were you listening to, you thickhead? It's the projection magic. That's the one that matters.
半人前のする強化なんて当てにならないけど、投影だけは別よ。一時的にせよ、アーチャーの剣を投影したんだから、再現できれば即戦力じゃない。
We can't count on strengthening magic done by an amateur, but the projection magic is different. You were able to temporarily project archer's swords, so you'll immediately be a force if you can do that again. Rin seems to enjoy the magical research. She probably just hates the rest of the Magic Society and how it works. Yeah, it sounds fun. That's probably why she enjoyed it so much when she was a kid, before she needed any of the responsibilities when her dad died, and then she suddenly needed all the responsibilities. Yeah. In Timeline 1, after Shiro did his projection the first time, Rin was just like, don't ever do that again. That's like so dangerous and stuff. Probably because she, again, had probably no confidence in Shiro in Timeline 1, and assumed it was some kind of weird fluke, or it was in some weird relation to Saber. But here, she has reason to be more confident in him, and also, It was related to Archer this time and not Saber, so there's more of an argument of it just being a good thing he's good at instead of some weird relation to Saber. So it makes sense that she's more for it in this timeline. You'll immediately be a force if you can do it again. But thankfully, okay, finally, this will be someone saying, yes, you can do projection, let's practice that. Because he never really practiced that in Timeline 1, it's just something he did a couple times. In Timeline 1, in fact, she was like, never do it again, you can't rely on that, it's too risky. Here, though, that is not her response.
遠さか。そりゃいちいちもっともなんだが、昨日のは偶然だ。もう一度やれって言われても多分できない。
Tosaka, that's plausible, but yesterday was just luck. I won't be able to do it again even if you tell me to.
それが半人前だっていうの。できた以上は偶然だろうが必然だろうがものにしな
That's
さい。
why you're an amateur. If you're able to do it by chance or by will, you should be able to do it anytime. Yeah, if you can do it by chance, learn to do it by will. I agree, 100%. Fuck this shonen power bullshit. If you can do it, learn when to fucking do it. Learn how to just do it without needing your luck bullshit. Without needing your, I need my friend to die to go Super Saiyan. Learn to do it without that. Like Goku.
だいたいあんたのは偶然なんかじゃない。私みたいに外界に働きかける魔術師は再現できない魔術なんて山ほどある。けどあんたは材料を全部内界から出してきてるんだから。あんたが生きてる限り再現できない魔術なんてないのよ。
There's also probably the reason that she said don't do it to Shiro. She didn't trust him. She thought he was weird. It wasn't even just a lack of confidence. There was probably the fact that she didn't fully trust him in that timeline. She didn't know what was up with him. Here, she wants my penis, so of course she trusts me. But in that timeline, maybe she was a little scared of him and didn't know what was up and didn't know how to process it. So she was just like, yeah, just stay away from that. That's weird. But here, she definitely trusts me, so... And that's beyond just having confidence in me. Because she likes me. So she wants to trust me. First of all, that wasn't luck at all. Magi that work on the outside world, like me, have a lot of magic that we can't use. But you're getting all the required materials from within you, so there shouldn't be any magic that's impossible for you. All the materials from within him. How does he do it? Because he's some kind of weird OP thingamajigger that's weird and OP. He's like a secret servant. Or he's like, is somehow the Grail. Or he's... Something is there. There's something there. And the most likely twist is that he's just Archer and that Archer's just Shiro. As I've said before.
内界から出している。
Getting it from the inside? Isn't that natural? No! Magical energy is made from the magic circuit within you, so it's all coming from within you. You might say it's the bone of his sword. And you might say his bones sometimes feel like they're made of swords. Magical energy is made from the magic circuit within you, so it's all coming from within you.
はあ、独学でやってきたからしょうがないんだろうけど、かなり重症よね。東映はともかく、他のことは一から教えてあげないとダメか。
You started teaching me much earlier in Timeline 1, and we still didn't get very far, so hopefully I might be a more effective student, but I think you have to be a more effective teacher as well. Jeez, I guess it can't be helped since you taught yourself, but this is pretty bad. Projection doesn't even need to be mentioned, but I guess I have to teach you from scratch about everything else as well. Tosaka sighs. Dash dash. I know I'm an amateur, but it pisses me off if Tosaka says so.
余計なお世話だ。今まで一人でやってきたんだから、これからもなんとかなる。それより話し合いはどうするんだよ。もうこんな時間なんだ。いつまでも道草してらんないぞ。
Oh yeah, the ode and mana. Inside mana is little, outside mana is a lot. And he's getting it from the inside. Usually you draw on stuff around you. But Shiro's really bad at drawing on stuff from around him. But he's just got a crazy amount inside. Because he's got the nine-tailed fox inside of him, of course. That's none of your business. I've been able to do just fine by myself, so I should be fine by myself in the future. But what are we going to do about the meeting? It's getting late, so we can't waste time forever. Interesting how he's so defensive. Against the idea of Rin teaching him. Huh. I know I'm an amateur, but it pisses me off if Tosaka says so. Because you like Tosaka, and you envision maybe a future where you're equals, and if Rin is putting her above you, then you can't ever achieve that. Now, you already hate yourself, kind of. So, aren't you okay with her calling you an amateur? No, you're not, because you already hate yourself so much, but you know it's bad to hate yourself, so when someone else hates on you, you try to fight back because you're becoming a bit more healthy? It pisses me off if Tosaka says so. Interesting. And then he fights back. Is it because she called you an amateur, or because she's attempting to teach you? It seems like your inner monologue suggests it's the amateur line that's bugging you, so maybe not her teaching you, but just her calling you an amateur? Interesting. Why does that bug you so much? That's none of your business. I've been able to do fine myself, so I should be finding myself in the future. But what are we going to do about the meeting? It's getting late, so we can't waste time forever. It's probably not even going to be a meeting. Let's just sleep over.
時間って今何時なの？
Shiro did say he was stupid for wanting to support the perfect Rin Tosaka a few nights ago. Ah, I see. That's right, he didn't think he was on her level, but he wants to support her. So when she calls him an amateur and that she has to train him because he's not even up to that level, it bugs him. I guess it's similar to how he gets bugged when, in a sense, it's similar to how he wants to fight in place of Saber. It's different. The reasonings are definitely different, but there's a similar through line of, the girl he likes, of wanting there to be that connection, not wanting to be the burden in the relationship. What time is it?
9時になったところ、女の子が夜出歩く時間じゃない。
It's 9 right now. It's not a time girls should be walking about. Oh, there's the tried and true Shiro sexism.
なんだ、まだ全然早いじゃない。まあ、エミヤくんがそう言うなら、手っ取り早く片付けましょうか。
Given how much of a not morning person Rin is, this is not a surprising response. Oh, that's still early. Well, let's finish the meeting quickly if you say so. It's about 9. That means in about 2 hours is probably the earliest I might wake up. They call me a... Are you a morning person or a nighttime person if you're someone like me who wakes up at about midnight? Let's finish the meeting quickly if you say so. Tosaka nods and heads back to the house.
まだ早いってどうしてさ。
Why is it still early? Because she's planning to, she's gonna sleep over, so that's why it's still early. There's plenty of time before you guys have to go to bed and then wake up in the morning in the same roof, obviously. Maybe you haven't gotten that far in your head, Shiro, but she already has. For a girl, going outside at 9 o'clock is like midnight. If it's midnight, then it's morning. It's literally morning, it's also my morning. But she still said it's early. Is Tosaka not self-conscious that she's a girl? Shiro, I think you're a little too conscious of when people are boys and girls. Just a little bit. It shouldn't really matter whether you're a girl or not for, 9 o'clock being late to be outside. I get where it comes from, but it's still a sexism point of view.
いや、怖いことを考えるのはやめよう。
No, let's stop that scary thought. I shake my head and erase the ominous thought. The ominous thought that what? She's secretly a man in disguise? Is that your scary thought, Shiro? I could see why you would think of that as a scary thought, but also sexist for thinking that that's the logical conclusion. If that is the logical conclusion, or it's a different scary thought, could be.
ちょっと、早く来なさいよ。
She said a lot and they just translated it as come on? Lazy. Come on! Yeah, there was that definitely could have been translated as more than just come on. Like, come on, hurry up, even. Tosaka calls to me. I run to the porch. We get away from Fujine, who's in the living room, and continue to the meeting out on the porch. Are we going to have a real meeting? I expected it not to finish so easily because we've talked so much since noon. Shikashiwa. Not to finish so easily. Oh, I thought it would finish easily because you already wasted a bunch of your time talking in the morning, but instead it's going to finish right away. I expected it to finish right away because I think this was just Rin's excuse. The idea of having even a meeting tonight was totally just an excuse. I don't think she ever planned on it. I think she was just a way to get to this point, but also just a way to kind of make fun of you a little bit.
竜道寺に挑むのは現段階では無理よ。
It's impossible to challenge the Buddha Temple at the moment. So what's your plan? You want to team up with Ilya? I mean, otherwise we have to attack them at some point, right? We can't just wait for Gilgamesh to do it, because we don't know he exists. Unless we do. Shiro, do you know? How much do you know? It seems like he just doesn't know anything. I think I talked about this, but I think my prediction at the moment is he starts to maybe get vague ideas towards the end of this timeline, and maybe starts fully grasping that there's some time jump but shenanigans in the next timeline, which is, I'm assuming, the final Trinity and ending the Trinity timelines. And I think he gets an idea of the timey-wimey stuff in the third timeline. So I'm assuming he doesn't really know, like, for example, that, oh, if we wait, Gilly will just kill her. And then I just give Avalon to Saber, and boom, that's done too. Clearly her plan is to mooch more food. That was the plan all along. That's step one, and then step two eventually. Really, though, I think she just wants to enjoy more time with Shiro. She's still calling me Emiya, though, so I don't think she's accepting our relationship as a possibility. I think she's still refusing to accept it because she's still thinking of herself, you know, shrouded in the magical grody world, and she doesn't want Shiro to get bogged down into her magical grody world, and she's not willing to accept the fact that she can free herself from the burden of being in Tosaka and escape the grody world with him. She's like, I'm in this grody world, he's not, I don't want to bring him into my grody world. I like playing in his world sometimes, but I can't permanently go there, which is why I won't call him Shiro and why I won't go after a real relationship. You know, I'll just stay in the friend zone, I think, is her mindset right now. She's got a major chance at the war with Archer, sure, but, yeah, she does have a major chance at the war with Archer. You're right, but she clearly, her feelings are stronger for me in this timeline than they were in Timeline 1. She still had them in Timeline 1, but they're much stronger, which I think is part of why she hasn't started calling me Shiro yet, despite our alliance, because she's resisting that. Whereas in Timeline 1, she just got straight into calling me Shiro as soon as our alliance started, because she did want to let herself be part of that world, and it was easier to deceive herself right away because, you know, Archer was probably out of it anyway. Anyways, it's impossible to challenge Rito Temple at the moment.
こっちで罠を仕掛けてキャスターをおびき出すしかないでしょ。
The only thing we do is set up some sort of trap to lure Castor out. That's actually smart. If we can get Castor out of the temple, that's a smart thing. What's the trap, though? What can we possibly trap her with? Because she doesn't seem to care about people. She just likes herself. I mean, I guess she wants Saber, but again, we wouldn't know that. We have no reason to think that unless we have knowledge from the other timeline. Tosaka concludes. Unless we do have a reason to think that, but I don't think we have a reason to think that, unless I'm forgetting something from this timeline.
いや、それはその通りなんだが。
Well, you're right, but
問題は罠をどうするかだ
the
け
problem
ど
is the trap. Exactly. What kind of trap could we even have? She could, like, if it's any rando, she can just pluck their soul from far away like she did with Shiro. So that shouldn't work. It has to be something big. But what big thing does she even care about?
まあ兄さん心当たりがあるからエミヤ君は待機していて。最悪あなたとセイバーには餌になってもらうから。
I don't think Rin knows Ilya is the Grail based on how the last timeline went. Or she might have a theory, but I don't think she knows at most. Well, I have 2 or 3 possible ideas, so you can stand by for now. In the worst case, I'll have you and Saber be the bait. Uh-huh. Me and Saber as the bait's not a terrible idea, but, like, how do you know to make me and Saber the bait? Why do you think to make me and Saber the bait? It's a good idea, but how do you know that Saber being the bait is a good idea? After saying something dangerous, Tosaka opens the sliding door. The cold air comes in. Maybe this porch is special as it's only a bit chilly. Just a little bit, just a tad. It's just like that night 5 years ago. Oh, flashback. This porch is warm enough to be able to sit down and watch the moon even during wintertime.
いい結界ね。私の家とは違って人間の情を感じる。
Oof. It's a good boundary field. I feel some human emotion, unlike the one at my place. It's all magic, no emotion. Yup, that sounds like a Tosaka. Tosaka murmurs while sitting at the porch, staring into the yard.
ちょっと付き合わない？ なんでもない話があるんだけど。
Do you want to sit here with me? I just want to talk. I mean, we've been talking, but what do you mean? About what? Sure, about what? Do I get a real choice? No. Obviously, yes. Okay. Dash, dash. I sit next to her silently. Are you actually talking, or are you just both too awkward to say anything? She said she wants to talk, but she doesn't say anything. That sounds about right. That means she actually wants to talk about something serious and is going through her Rin mode of, but how do I approach the subject? I can't do anything else, so I stare at the yard absentmindedly. And you don't know what she wants to talk about, so you can't make the first move. And the awkwardness continues. Dash, dash, dash. I can't see the moon. My breath is white, probably because it snowed earlier. When I look to my side, Tosaka is staring at the yard with white breath as well. Basically got 3 solid examples of magic parenting. Kiritsugu with his emotion and love. Tosaka of logic. And the Matos with, ooh. There's also the Einsburns, but, I mean, I know Ilya's mom was cool. And Ilya's dad is Kiritsugu. But, yeah, Kiritsugu wasn't the best parent to Ilya in that. I mean, he wasn't a bad parent. He was a bad parent in the sense that he basically abandoned her. But, I assume he would have wanted to go back for her, but maybe it was just awkward because, you know, the Einsburns are scary. Tosaka's staring at the yard with white breath as well. Dash, dash, dash. I can touch her shoulder if I move a bit. Okay, we're really getting in. Oh boy, we're going to second base. We're at second base. I don't know when we got to second base, but we're there. I can feel it. What are the bases? I always use the terms bases. I don't even know what the fucking base terms mean. I hear people say them. Oh, that's first base. That's second base. But it's kind of like the number 69, where I know it's a sexy number, but I don't know what it means. I can touch her shoulder if I move a bit. I'm not disturbed by that fact. Is it because I'm getting used to it, or because of the winter night? Ooh. Is getting used to it scary, or exciting, or both? Tosaka is so close to me, but I feel so calm.
で、話ってなんだよ、Tosaka.
Oh, he actually made the first move. Good on you, Shiro. And you didn't do it in a dirty way either. So, what do you want to talk about, Tosaka? I ask her, feeling that she's waiting for that question.
ちょっとね。このうちって特殊だから。人の振り見て我が振り直せじゃないけど、エミヤくんはそのままでもいいのかなってふと思った。
I'm not. Fine. Well, this place is a bit special. I just thought that you might be fine as you are right now. The late night talks with close friends' family. Usually the realist. And usually the realist. I know you typoed Wise Fool, but... I thought that you might be fine as you are right now. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's what I was expecting. You think I'm fine. You don't want to interrupt my gooder life compared to your badder life. But, I'm still in a dark place. It's better than it was in Timeline 1. Better enough that I'm willing to refer to Shiro as me, as opposed to then where I distance myself, because you're too stupid to be me. But, he's still in a dark place. Just a different kind of dark place from yours, even if you fail to realize.
そのままでいいって、半人前でいいってことかよ。
Whoa, do you mean I'm good enough as an amateur? No, she's talking about as a human being.
そうじゃないんだけど、そうなのかもね。
Not exactly, but maybe so. She's deflecting. She brought it up. Shiro completely missed the point, and now she feels awkward about actually examining the point.
エミヤキリツグって人がどんな魔術師だったか知らないけど、この屋敷はすごく自然なのよ。魔術師の工房のくせに開けてる。
I don't know what kind of magus Emiya Kiritsugu was, but this place is really natural. It's very open, even though this is the workshop of a magus.
四方の門は開け放たれていて、 入るのも帰るのもご自由にって感じ。
Hmm.
きっと守るべきものがないから何者にも縛られないのよ。
It doesn't feel restrained like your place where there's locks everywhere to keep the private Tosaka knowledge private. All the doors are open, free for anyone to come in and leave. It's probably not bounded by anything because there's no knowledge here to protect.
あなたのお父さんが魔術師じゃなくて魔術使いになれって言ったのはそういうことなんだと思う。何にもない代わりにどこへだって行けるんだから。
There it is, showing her real emotions, her real thoughts. I think that's what your dad meant by telling you to become a magic user and not a magus. You have nothing, but in its place, you can go anywhere. Unlike me, I'm trapped. I have Tosaka responsibilities. But those are only responsibilities if you make them. If you want to do the Tosaka things, do them. But don't feel like you have to do them. What, you're not like that? No, she is not. Pay attention, Shiro. Learn to read people.
ええ、私の家は違う。近所じゃ幽霊屋敷って言われてるけど事実その通りなのよね。来る者は拒む。そのくせ入ってきた者は逃がさない。
No, my place is different. My mansion is called a haunted house, and it really is. It rejects anybody that comes, yet it doesn't release anyone that comes in. As in, it doesn't let outsiders, non-muggles in, only muggles. She can't accept non-muggles into her life. Or rather, she can't accept muggles in. She has to only non... I got my terms wrong. But, yeah. If you're born in there and raised in there, you must follow, you know, the magic life. And you can't mingle with the outside non-magic life. You can't let the non-magic life in. Which makes it a haunted house in that perspective. Haunted by magical Tosakas of old.
時々ね、なんか違うなって思うんだけど、これが変えられないのよ。
sometimes think it's wrong, but it's not something I can change. You sometimes think it's wrong? I mean, I guess you'd have to even acknowledge that it could be wrong. It's not something I can change is a lie. Is a lie. A dirty lie. I understand why you feel this way, Rin. But you're wrong. You can change. In fact, you of all people have the best opportunity to change. Your dad was probably raised by his parents for a while, and it was grilled into him all his life, the Tosaka bullshit. And he never got a real chance to think for himself. You, though, due to your father's unfortunate passing, had quite a long chance, and yet you don't let yourself because you feel you carry on his name because of how he unfortunately died at such a young age. You feel you have to because he died before you were given a chance to decide for yourself. But in reality, if you never probably would have given that chance because he just would have kept grilling it into you. So it's you having these doubts is because of it, and also you have the chance to break away because of it. The fact that you're even feeling this way, to me, indicates you should break away from it. Acknowledging that it's a thing that for some people could be wrong, but you actually are a fan of the system is one thing. But realizing it exists and thinking, wow, it kind of sucks, but I still have to do it, that is not the right mindset. If you're thinking, oh, it sucks, but I have to do it, no, why? Why do you have to? What's holding you to it? Other than your damn Tosaka pride.
呪われてるとかそういうんじゃなくて、私自身そういうあり方が気に入っちゃってるわけ。こういう性格をしてるから後継者に選ばれたんでしょうけど、気がついた時には割とショックだった。
It's not like it's cursed, but it's just that I like how it is. I was chosen as successor probably because of my personality, but it was pretty shocking when I realized it. Okay, that seems weird to me. What do you mean you were chosen as successor because of your personality? Isn't it just you have to pass it on? Isn't it just your first child? Okay, maybe I'm remembering wrong, or maybe there's details they've left out. Does she have siblings? Or did she? Because, like, I thought she's an only child, and you can only pass on your crest to your blood relative, to my understanding. So I don't know what you mean by I was chosen as the successor. If that's not a translation issue, then that seems weird that she would put it that way. It's not that you were chosen, you're the only possible successor. Probably because of my personality. But it was pretty shocking when I realized it. Unless you're talking about something else beyond just the Tosaka pride.
それはつまり自分がいじめっ子だと気がついた時か。
Is that when you realized that you're a bully? Did Kirei kill some Tosaka kids on the way out? Wow. I don't remember her having siblings in Fate Zero, but, you know, that could just be... It's not impossible, I suppose. Is that when you realize that you're a bully? That's a very interesting way to put it, Shiro. I think you're joking, but I think there's some truth to it. It was pretty shocking when I realized it. Is that when you realized you're a bully? Is that when you realized you have to be a bully? A magical bully?
思うんだけど、エミヤ君って歯に衣着せないたちよね。
You're not one to mince words, huh?
そうか。遠坂を見習って回りくどく言ったつもりなんだが。
Really? I thought I was being indirect, just like you. You're right, she is being indirect here. Shiro has gotten smarter, I guess. I think we have said that he can... So yeah, I think I was being like, learn to read people, Shiro. I think he does. I tend to, you know, confuse myself that he's so bad at romance, but I think he's better at generally reading people when it doesn't come to the romance aspect, so...
まったく、そういうところが直球だって言ってるの。
Geez, I'm telling you that's direct. Oh, you're failing at the indirect approach, Shiro. You got a ways to go in your Sun approach. She sighs and hangs her head. Her sigh is white and slowly melts into the cold night. Seeing her face makes me remember the Red School. Tosaka didn't say anything when she saw the unconscious students. In spite of her shaking knees, she bit her lip and acted firm as usual. I realized at that time that she might be killing her true self by acting like a perfect maggot. Yep.
遠坂はきつかったのか。
Was it hard for you, Tosaka? Which part? I get uneasy, so I ask.
魔術の修行が？おあいにくさま。苦しいなんて思ったことはなかったわ。大抵のことはすんなりこなせたし、できなくて挫折したことなんてなかったしね。
You mean the training? You're deflecting, Rain, and you know it. Sorry, but I never thought it was hard. I was able to do most things without a problem, and I was never discouraged because I couldn't do something.
それに、新しいことを覚えるのは楽しかった。さっきも言ったでしょ？私、生まれつきそういう性格なんだって。だから、エミヤ君の心配は杞憂ってやつよ。
It was fun for me to learn new things. I told you, right? I was born with this personality, so there's no need for you to worry. This personality you have does not enjoy it. You're lying because you have the personality you do. You might be good at it, but just because you're good at something does not mean you enjoy it. I know that firsthand. She simply says so. There's no bluff nor lie in her statement, and Tosaka is smiling. I think she does enjoy the magical science aspect, but all the stuff related to the association and the honor and pride, I don't think she cares for. The responsibility of having to pass the crest on, as it were. Yeah, she never said in the statement that she enjoys magic. Yeah, all she says is she's good at it. That's true. That's true. I wasn't even going for that. I mean, I was going for that angle, but I wasn't. Yeah, it's fun to learn things. She enjoys the magical science. But I'm doubting my own self because of what you said about me. I'm like, oh, that's right. I did say that.
そっか。なら学校はどうなんだ？ 魔術師としてやっていくんなら学校に行っても無意味なんじゃないか？
Good question, Shiro. I like it. I see. Then what about school? If you're gonna live as a magus, isn't it meaningless to go to school? I guess the response to that is no, I have to keep up the Tosak image, but what does it matter if you never went to school in the first place? When did you start going to school? If you started going to school at a young age, I guess you have to learn other things, but couldn't there be homeschooling for that? I guess not in your situation. Kira could have homeschooled you, but you probably wouldn't have enjoyed that.
無意味とまではいかないけど寄り道でしょうね。
It's not meaningless, but it is straying away from my path. Oh, so you admit that it would be better if you didn't.
けど無駄じゃないわよ。学生って楽しいもの。私ね、基本的に快楽主義者なの。父さ
Okay.
んの後を継ぐのは義務だけど、それだって自分が楽しくなければやらないわ。
You brought the word fun in finally. It's not meaningless, but it is straying away from my path. But it's not pointless. Being a student is fun. I think hanging out with your friends is fun, and school gives you an excuse to do that, but school fucking sucks. I'm up for anything fun. It's a duty to succeed my dad, but I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. It's a duty to succeed your dad, but I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. I object to that notion. I wouldn't do it if it wasn't fun. You say that, I don't think you do find it fun, at least not all of it.
マスターになったのだって自分の力を試したいからだし、エミヤ君と協力してるのだってあなたが面白いからだし。
Now you're definitely lying. I became a master because I wanted to test my powers. And I'm cooperating with you because you're funny. Because I'm funny? That's the reason? Because I'm funny? Not that you're in love with my penis? Also, you know me from before somehow. Still, the one bad ending implied that and we haven't gotten back to it. What was that about? Must have met in the past somehow, some way, for some reason. Am I in... Maybe I'm why you're so filled with hope. Maybe in the past, you were feeling down about magical bullshit. And we met in the past, and I lifted your spirits for some reason. And it made you feel, oh, if he can do that, I can do this. Or something. She likes magic as a hobby, but wouldn't want it to become a job. I can understand that. Became a master because I wanted to test my powers. Wanted to test the limit of my capabilities. I could see why you would enjoy that to an extent, but there is a responsibility that comes with it, and I'm cooperating with you because you're funny. Dash dash. Ignoring the comment that I'm funny, my worries disappear. Really? Because I still have them. A family of magi. I thought Tosaka was carrying a dark shadow because she's bound by a heavy history and bloodline. I still think that. That was just my prejudice. I don't think it was just your prejudice. She says she finds the whole thing of succeeding fun, but I don't think that's quite true. Even if she enjoys parts of it, even if she enjoys it enough to go fully through with it, there's still a certain self-acceptance, I think, that needs to happen that has not happened. Self-understanding, self-revelation. The Tosaka family is not a burden on her, and she's done what she wanted up to now. Maybe, but what about in the future? Maybe that's why she cares so little about the future, thinking about, I don't have a wish with the Grail War type of thing. Like, she's going to school because she thinks hanging out with people is fun. And yet, you know, she knows that it's not the ideal way. She's pulling a Fate Saber. Pewter pulled a few layers back, but he's, hasn't fully pierced it at all. Yeah. But, like, the way she talks about it, like, oh, going to school is fun. I know it goes against, you know, my duty or whatever, but it's still fun, so I try to do it. I try to do these distractions. But eventually, she has to fully confront what it means to be a Tosaka and where that's going. You know, school's eventually going to end. What then? Are you going to go to, a university just for kicks? A college just for kicks? Are you going to go to a fake job just for kicks? Where is it going, Tosaka? Where is it going? Is it going nowhere? You're not even thinking about that? You're just focusing on the now? You're focusing on the Grail War? This is all you've been focusing on? Oh. You just feel so short-sighted, which is fitting with how you're more of a speed chess person than someone who preps. Because you're scared of the future. You're scared of when this Tosaka family prejudice does fully take you over. When you can't just keep treating it as a fun hobby. Just spinning her wheels like Shiro? I suppose, yeah. I see, I'm glad you're having fun. She doesn't have a clear version of the future besides succeed dad. That's a very fair point, yeah. Shiro is also like, how do I superhero? What am I doing? And he's trying to clarify that now in this timeline finally. And maybe that's what he needed to see Rin's faults and clarify that for her too. Which is why maybe timeline 1 had to happen before timeline 2. But yeah, she's spinning her wheels. But where is she going next? And now, once Shiro sort of sorts out where he's going next, maybe he can help her with where she's going.
ありがとう。で、もちろんそういうエミヤ君も楽しかったんでしょ？そうでもなければ魔術の修行なんて続かないものね。
How is Shiro going to react to that? Because I think that's cutting to the heart of his issues, which might act as a mirror in this case. I see. I'm glad you're having fun. Thanks. So, I'm sure you're having fun too if you're saying that, right? She wants validation because she's not confident in her own answer. You wouldn't be able to continue training unless that's the case. That's not the case, though. He's training, he's spinning his wheels. The reason he was training all this time to become a superhero, not necessarily because the training is fun. In fact, like, the things that he finds fun, what does he find fun? He never laughs. Finding things that are fun for him, period. Because of the self-hatred, he doesn't tend to think much about things that are fun for himself. Not yet, anyways. And so, being asked, does he find the magic training fun? Not necessarily. Maybe he's doing it because he wants to be a superhero, to save people, to get that satisfaction or whatever. But the training itself, I don't think he's ever described it as fun. He's described it as, laborious. He doesn't have any hobbies, really. No, he doesn't really do things he enjoys. Tosaka says so as if it's natural. But, oh, now you're forced to question yourself. Do I enjoy it? Except fixing it stuff. Yeah, that leads to helping. Yeah, it helps other people. By fixing stuff, you help other people because they can use the stuff you fix. So it's more that, constantly giving to others, never giving to self. I can't nod back. Yes, thank you, Shiro, for not nodding back, because it's true. She's deflecting, and she's seeking validation from you, admitting that it is fun, which lets her be like, yeah, see, it's fun. I have fun, you have fun, we both have fun. But it's not true. Shiro does not have fun with magic. That's not why he does it.
ちょっと、どうして黙るのよ。エミヤ君のお父さんは強制しなかったんでしょ？それでも続けたってことは、魔術が楽しかったからじゃないの？
You're latching so hard onto that. You are so envious of Shiro, not just because he had a kind dad, but he had, like, a dad that gave him the choice. He gave him the choice, and Shiro still said, yes, I'm going to do magic. And so you're like, so I could have been that person. My dad didn't give me a choice, but my dad could have given me a choice, and I would have said yes, because I enjoy it. That's definitely true. I'm not lying to myself. I mean, just look at you, Shiro. You enjoy it. That's why, right? But that's not why. Why are you silent? Your dad didn't force you, right? But you continue training in spite of that, so that must mean it was fun.
Yeah.
Well... I don't think I ever considered it fun. For Emiya Shiro, magic has always been a life-threatening trial. I know I don't have the aptitude, but I clung on to it, wanting to be like Kiritsugu, desperately chasing the image of your father. You could say Rin's doing the same thing by having the, going on the Tosaka legacy or whatever. I guess they're both doing the same thing in a sense then. Rin's wanting to cling on to the Tosaka legacy. Shiro's wanting to cling on to the legacy of being a superhero that Kiritsugu set on him. So I suppose in that sense there is definitely a similarity there. Rin thinks that Shiro had a choice, and he technically did, but it didn't feel like a choice to him. He was indebted to Kiritsugu after Kiritsugu saved him from the fire. And he kind of hated himself for being the only one who lived after that. And then much further, once Kiritsugu died and, Shiro took on his wish, because he already didn't like himself, he already felt like he had to say that, to do something with this life he didn't like that he had. But he had been saved, so he had to do something with it. He still felt like he had that burden. Even though maybe, without Rin knowing the nuance, Rin thinks from her perspective he had a choice, but really there's a similarity there. He didn't really have a choice, but for a different reason. All waifus are just a mirror of Shiro. Isn't that the best thing? They do say birds of a feather flock together. They help each other to overcome their own problems. They're each other's problems. That's a good thing. I clung on to it wanting to be like Kiritsugu. For my first year, I trained all the time except for sleeping and eating. I honed my sensitivity, facing death every night. I just repeated it for 8 years. I didn't think it was tough, but I didn't think it was fun.
待った。ちゃんと答えて、エミヤ君。
Wait, answer me, Emiya-kun. Ooh, it's a little hard to tell because it's in Japanese, but I think I sound some hesitation there. Like, answer me, Emiya-kun. Tell me, it's fun.
私、とんでもない勘違いをしてたかもしれないから。
I might have severely misunderstood you. If you severely misunderstood me, did you misunderstood something else? Tosaka glares at me seriously. She's seeking that validation. Ellipses. Crap. I have to answer if she makes a face like that.
そうだな。魔術の修行を楽しいと思ったことはなかった。魔術の修行も魔術そのものも楽しいと思ったことはない。けど、俺は周りが幸せならそれで嬉しかった。
I never thought of training in magic was
だから
fun.
その魔術を習っておけばいつか誰かのためになれる。
I never considered magic or training to be fun. That's kind of the same thing, isn't it? I never thought training in magic was fun. I never considered magic or training to be... You said training twice. But I was glad to have people around me be happy. I thought I could be a help to someone if I studied magic. The massive red plagues. I never thought it was fun. I never considered it fun. I was glad to have people around me be happy. Rin, though, didn't necessarily have people around her happy, otherwise, except for, like, her dad. I thought I could be of help to someone if I studied magic. You just wanted to help other people. Rin wasn't really doing it to help other people, though, except for maybe help the, legacy that she was thrust upon her. Dash dash.
俺はキリツグのような正義の味方になりたかった。そのために魔術を習ってきた。
I wanted to be a superhero like Kiritsugu.
俺の理由なんてそんなもんだけど。
I learned magic for that reason. Well, that's my reason.
じゃあ何？あんた、自分のために魔術を習ったんじゃないの？
Then what? You didn't learn magic for your own good? Did you, Rin? Did you really? You know you didn't.
いや、自分のためじゃないのか。これって。誰かのためになれれば俺だって嬉しいんだから。
Wait, isn't this for my sake? I'm glad to be of help to someone. Well, how about being of help to yourself, buddy? At least, okay, Rin is kind of cutting to the heart of this, but that's gonna force her to do some own self-reflection, I think. Because she's been seeking validation from the wrong place. All along, she's been envying Shiro incorrectly. For the wrong reasons. I think that's why it's been so hard, especially in Timeline 1, for her to really cut to the veil, is that she envied Shiro's position of having a more, better magical father, and the fact that, also he had a choice, and Shiro chose, yes, magic, and that she never saw the dark side of things, because she just wanted to use that as a beacon of light for her her own magical self as a connection, to have a connection to someone, that's not a friend, that's not a normal, a muggle, as it were, a magical friend that she can talk to about, realness. But just in general, she wanted him as this beacon of hope for herself. For a long time, even back when, in the prologue, she was saying to herself that, Sakura was all alone or whatever, or she was hurt, and Shiro, the way she helped him out was so, inspiring. Rin seems in general, for multiple reasons, inspired by Shiro. And this is her ideal image of Shiro shattering. I guess you could say like Shiro's image of Rin shattered long ago. So, parallels.
それは嬉しいんであって楽しくはないの。
This is great, because when this conversation started, it was her that was supposed to be admitting that she's not having fun. Hey now, you may be glad, but you're not having fun.
いい？私が言ってるのはエミヤくん自身が楽しめることよ。周りはどうこうじゃなくて、自分から楽しいって思えることはないのかって聞いてるの。
Look, I'm talking about what's fun for you. I'm asking you if there's anything you consider fun. Tosaka roars out. Why does someone who hates himself need something that's fun? If you hate yourself, there's no point, right? Even if she says so, I can't answer what I don't know. I can't think of anything that's fun for me, and most of all, I'm not qualified to have such a wish. There it is! There it is! I'm not allowed to have fun! I hate myself too much to have fun. After all the people that died in the fire for my sake, everything that was sacrificed, the Kiritsugu chose me to save for my sake. I'm not allowed to have fun. That's not what has to be done with this life that was saved. I have to use this, to give back to the world that saved me and didn't let me die.
頭きた。要するにあんた、人のことばっかりで自分に焦点が合ってないのよ。
That makes me mad. In short, you're just caring for others, not caring for your own self? Yes. That is Shiro Emiya. She suddenly stands up and points at me. Oh, speaking of numb. Oh, I've been sitting in place for a while. Finger just got a little numb. Ugh. Oh, weird timing, but I think this actually is, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Actually, it's not the weirdest timing, because the music just stopped, right? Finger point! I do have to pee. It feels like a decent break point, actually. Even though we're still kind of in the middle of the heart-to-heart, the music stopped, and I think that's an okay, place to have an intermission. And there's also no music, so I don't have to turn the music off temporarily. So, intermission time. That makes me mad. In short, you're just caring for others, not caring for your own self. She suddenly stands up and points at me. Uh-oh. And she's going to be very mad about that because she really likes me. So she wants me to be able to, have fun and all that. Wait, Tosaka, your finger! I guess that is the next step. Wait, what, is her finger hurt or something? Or is it too close to him or what? But yeah, that definitely does seem like the next step. That's really hitting it on the head. I'm not qualified to have such a wish. I'm not qualified to have the fun. If Timeline 1's resolution was don't ignore the truth just because it's difficult, and Timeline 2's resolution is definitely building up to be don't hate yourself just because of, any responsibility you may have had because of something in the past. Don't let yourself be burdened by such a thing. If you want to do a thing, do it because you want to do it. That feeling when your soon-to-be boyfriend hates himself. Yeah, that's a little awkward. Your finger, no, your nail is touching my nose. Hopefully it's not that sharp.
うるさい、口答えするな。ああ、もう似てるって思ってたけど、まさかここまで一緒とは思わなかった。
Oh, that makes me happy. Oh, shut up. Don't talk back to me. Jeez, I always thought you two were alike, but I didn't think you guys were this similar. He's talking about me and Archer. I love it. I love it. I love it. They're the same person. I can feel it in my bones, in the bone that is my sword, or whatever he says. I thought you two were alike, but I didn't think you guys were this similar. Yeah, because she saw Archer's flashback in a dream or whatever, where he saved everyone around him, but that's why she would dislike it even more. He saved everyone around him and then felt happy in his moment of death. I didn't think you guys were this similar. Rejecting my protest, Tosaka closes in on me even more. I like my servant. Oh no!
待て、落ち着けトサカ。お前なんでそんなに怒ってるんだ。
Hold on, calm down, Tosaka. Why are you so mad?
それがわからないやつだから頭に来てるの。もうどうして誰も一言言ってやらないのよ。
I'm angry because you can't tell. Angry because I can't tell I was mad? Geez, why did nobody tell you? You know, he's a little nuanced, to be fair, and nobody's really had quite the heart-to-heart like this with him, I'd say. You know, he's just, been casually acquaintance. Nobody's bothered to dig in. Saber digs in the other timeline, and you dig in here. Your loved ones and all that will dig in, but, Shiro lost his Kiritsugu, and, Kiritsugu was kind of shattered afterwards, so it was hard for, I think, to him to really notice what was wrong with Shiro. And so it's just, you act like, oh, somebody should have definitely noticed. But, it's just like how you have deep-seated issues, Ren, which I'm sure you won't fucking admit. Because, you don't have your father in life. You haven't had anyone important to really root those issues out. Shiro was starting to do it for you. But, yeah, for Shiro, Taiga at most could have figured it out. If Archer is Shiro and she realizes that, then she knows the ending of Shiro. My current theory is that this is going off the idea that Archer is from some ending to Shiro, but not necessarily a complete parallel. That is to say, Shiro could go down a route that does not lead to Archer. Archer is just from one ending of Shiro's life, is my current guess. Did Sakura notice Shiro's issues, or maybe she's too busy dealing with her own demons? I'm sure Sakura has a bunch of her own bullshit issues, likely related to some plot twists, likely related to how Makiri might be abusing her. We already think Shinji is abusing her, I already do. I'm pretty confident, but there's probably some Makiri plot twist bullshit in there too. So I don't think Sakura would have noticed. Otherwise, if Sakura was more healthy, maybe she'd notice. But again, it's all about they have to be healthy enough, they have to be, I'm angry because you can't tell. Geez, why did nobody tell you? She shakes her fist. Dash, dash. I'll have to stay silent for now. I'll stay quiet until Tosaka's anger goes away. Woof. So, the scene just ends like that, huh? After venting for a while...
いいわ、決めた。
What have you decided, Rin? I'm gonna stay over to solve your bullshit? Are you gonna stay over, or are you distancing yourself fully? Which is it? Which extreme are you going to? I feel like that's the only answer at this point for you. Fine, decided.
明日、あんたに参ったって言わせてやるから。
I'll make you admit defeat tomorrow. Admit defeat? Admit that he has to... Admit that he has fun with magic? Because that's how it's gonna make you feel better? Or admit that he has a serious problem? Because that's the truth of the matter. But if, you can get him to admit that, then the counterpoint is you have a serious problem too, Rin. I've decided I'll make you admit defeat tomorrow. So she says so as if smacking me with a glove.
そうだな。まさか、いつかの続きをする気か?
That's disturbing. Are we going to continue that fight? Which fight? The actual physical fight you had a while back? Magical fight? No, not that fight, you goddamn idiot. She's going to make you... One of two things. It could be either at this point, actually. She's going to make you admit that you did have fun, because that solves her own bullshit issues. Or she's going to make you admit that you deserve to have fun. That fight, of course, is when she chased me around the school. I was cornered and had to surrender, but the match wasn't settled because of Ryder's interruption. I don't think that's... Oh, yes. That's true. Oh, well, maybe you're gonna settle that fight. Yeah, I'd love to see a settled fight. Sure. If that's what you mean. If this is the reason they end up refighting, I think Rain will be a little emotionally compromised, but I'm down for it.
そうよ。いいから首を洗って待ってなさい。とっておきにスペシャルなのを味合わせてやるんだから。
Yep, you better be ready. I'll smack you a good one. Tosaka psychs herself up before walking off into the living room. Wait, are we talking about the same fight? Which fight are you talking about? You talking about just fighting me with words? Or do you mean actually fighting me to make yourself feel better, like, oh, my magic's better than your magic because I do it for fun? That's not even relevant because you've been properly trained and I haven't. I don't know what's going to happen. So should I be ready for anything? Anyway, I have to take Tosaka home. It's almost 10 o'clock. I don't know. Oh, so she's not staying over then. I bet you she was planning to stay over, but then decided not to. Unless she's still staying over and you just haven't realized it yet. I don't know what Fujine will say if I keep a girl at my place for so long. Oh, you kept Saber. Interesting. So, if Tosaka isn't staying over, I bet she would have if it wasn't for that provocation, which is making her fully distance herself before the moment where they fully come together. Okay. That's when she'll probably start calling him Shiro. If they really do have an actual fight, like what they had, where they were chasing each other around the school, I wouldn't completely mind that. I feel like the reasoning behind the fight is a little silly, and I don't think Tosaka's heart would be fully in it. I guess that's kind of the point, though. But, like, if they have a fight for this reason, though, then I feel like the way Shiro wins is by having character growth as a person, not by actually outwitting her. Because I think that isn't the point of debate at the moment. If they do end up having an actual refight. Anyways, I have to take Tosaka home. It's almost 10 o'clock. I don't know what Fujine will say if I keep a girl at my place for so long. I think Tosaka just wants to mentally fight Shiro. I do too, but Shiro seems convinced.
今なんて言ったの、シロ？
What did you say, Shiro?
だから遠坂を送っていくって言ったんだよ。だってのにあいつどこうろちょろしてるんだ。
Okay, she's not going home.
いい加減
Never
帰ら
mind.
ないとまずいだろう。
She's staying over. Right. Of course, she wants to stay over. She has to beat me. So she's fully committed to beating me. And of course, I thought so. The two extremes. Fully distance or tuck her in. I said I'm going to walk Tosaka home. Where is she anyway? It's about time she left. She's not leaving. Fujine is watching me with a blank amazement. That's weird. Fujine should approve right away, but she doesn't seem to be in a hurry.
遠坂さんなら今頃別棟じゃないかな。
I think Tosaka-san's in the outbuilding.
お客さんだし、泊まるならちゃんとした客間にしないとダメでしょ。
She's a guest, so she has to have a proper guest room. She's staying over, right? She's staying over. Okay, I thought so.
よし、別棟か。ってふざけるな、藤根。今何かおかしなこと言わなかったか。
All right, the outbuilding. Wait, don't be ridiculous, Fujine. Did you just say something strange? I think she just wants to slap him until he stops being dumb. To retreat now would be to admit weakness. Yeah, that is an option, admitting weakness. I did think she'd go to one extreme at this point, but I feel like if she was actually distancing herself, though, then maybe she would be going for more of the physical fight. Staying over suggests to me she is going for a mental fight. Although she might actually start it as a physical fight to make some kind of point across, because even she can be a little blunt at times, but...
まあ、おかしなこと言ってるのはシロでしょ。
Dense is the word I meant. Dense. The bluntness comes with the denseness. She can definitely be blunt. That is to say, how she just wanted to straight up attack Kazuki as a way to test him, even if he'd be out for a few days if she succeeded. So she's definitely has that kind of... Anyways. You're the one saying strange things, Shiro.
今日はもう遅いから遠坂さんを止めるんでしょ。遠坂さん、さっきそう言いに来たけど。
You're gonna let Tosaka-san stay over because it's so late, right? Tosaka-san just came and told me so.
泊まるって遠坂が。
What? Tosaka's staying over?
そうよ。あ、けどおかしなことしたらダメだからね。
Yep. But you can't do anything strange, okay?
私も和室で寝てるし、客間から悲鳴なんて上がったら一発であの世行きなんだから。
I'll be sleeping in the Japanese-style room, so I'll go kill you in one blow if I hear a scream from the guest room. Well, what if we actually have an intruder? You're joking, Taiga. I know you're joking, but, like, she definitely would injure me, I'm sure. I think after Shiro basically revealed so much of himself to Rin in her eyes, she has to dig in and double down. I think part of why she's doubling down is because it relates to her as well. She wants to get to the bottom of him so she can get to the bottom of herself. If it was completely distanced, she might just think, wait, what? You're weird. And maybe further distance herself. But because I think it's also related to her own psyche, she wants to get to the bottom of it. I can see that. I'll go kill you in one blow of hair scream from the guest room. Fujine munches on the rice cracker. She seems normal, and it seems she thinks nothing of the emergency situation of having Tosaka stay over. Damn her! It looks like Fujine has surrendered to Tosaka.
ああ、ちょうどよかった。私、右の客間を借りるから。
Oh, great timing. I'm going to borrow the guest room on the right. Then, the alien I bump into on my way to the outbuilding says so lightheartedly. Yep. Her appearance makes my head spin. You just love seeing her, what, with that red... the red casual clothes? What, because earlier she was still in her school clothes, right? After coming home from school, she just changed, right? And you just think she's so hot in those clothes. I understand. She's not in her uniform. This person in my hallway saying something ridiculous is in my hallway even.
ああ、これ泊まることにしたから、アーチャーに行って宿泊道具一式を持ってこさせたの。そんなわけだから寝巻きはいらないわよ。
Oh, this? I'm gonna stay over, so I had Archer bring me things. I don't need to borrow any pajamas. Indeed. And Archer's cool with it. I mean, even if he's not, I guess, you know, he has to just deal with it. But, he might be cool with it. He might think that, there's good in the bonding. Or maybe Rin can train some smarts into Shiro.
ちょっと大丈夫？疲れてるなら早めに寝なさいよね。明日の朝、寝坊なんてしたら承知しないんだから。
Are you alright? Go to bed early if you're tired. I won't forgive you if you sleep in tomorrow. He's not alright, by the way. I'm pretty sure he's still numb. Numb all day. Waving goodbye, she goes down the hallway leading to the outbuilding. Oh, that's great. In a daze, I watch her go and look at myself in the mirror. Dash, dash. My face is as red as an apple. Damn it. What's she thinking sleeping in the same house, even if we're far away from each other? I should take a bath again. Now's when the shenanigans. You're gonna take a bath again and you're gonna walk in when she's in the midst of taking her first bath. Of course. I'll pour cold water on myself and cool my burning face down. I'll have to do so. I won't be able to concentrate on my training, having Tosaka in my head. Oh, that's right. Your evening training with Saber or just your strengthening? Or are we going to skip all that? Oh, the lights go out. It's midnight. Oh, okay, we're skipping, basically. All right. I thought we might have shenanigans. Not yet. Maybe tomorrow night. Right when the date changes, I concentrate on my training while looking up at the frozen moon. Okay, training. So we skipped to the part where he, you know, bathed himself a little bit. But he's still doing his training. Is now when he's going to respect the fact that Rin was like, hey, do projection. Because your strengthening is like, what are you doing? I insert a new nerve into my spine. I make a magic circuit within me. Make magical energy and understand the structure of the wooden sword in my hand. Basic structure analyzed. I put magical energy into it and strengthen the wooden sword. I analyze the structure, alter it, and reinforce the matter. Composition. Composition? Composition. Reinforce. The usual process goes too smoothly. Too smoothly? I'm getting good at this. Now that I got 2 wavy lines. Now that I can do projection good, this strengthening is like a child's play. I don't know if it's because I became a master, but I can now easily strengthen things which used to have a success rate in the 0.01 digits. And I can make a magic circuit in a flash. 2 lines. It's like having 2 dots in your Sharingan eye. It makes a big difference. An extra dot makes a big difference. I know. I watched my OG Naruto. I got to that point where it was like he wasn't keeping up in the fight at all. And then he got the last dot, and then he was winning. And it was like, wow. I can now easily strengthen things which used to have a success rate in the 0.01 digits, and I can make a magic circuit in a flash. He says because he's a master, but I think it's more A, because of his connection to Archer, but B, he's had this whole numb bullshit all day. He's coming out of his cocoon. He might still be in the cocoon, but he's transitioning into a beautiful Archer fly. Ellipses. No, it's not because I became a master. Yes, he's not ignoring the whatever. What is it because? I'm only copying it. Copying what? His swords. You're using them to make you good at strengthening? Or are you doing projection training right now? Hold on. Or is this how you normally train? I always thought he was strengthening as his training, but he's training by projectioning? Hold on, go back. Oh, right. He analyzes these swords and tries to remake them. And that's his training to help his strengthening? Is that the idea? No, he's saying I put magical energy and strength in the wooden sword. Analyze the structure, reinforce it, and then you're going to use that to remake? Usual process goes too smoothly. I don't know if it's because he came out. It's not because it came master. I'm only copying it. His swords. I'm only imitating that knight in red that I saw at the Rito Temple. But his swords don't look like a wooden sword. So what does that have to do with it? I'm imitating his twin swords, his sword technique, and now even his breathing. Imitating his fucking breathing? Come on, man.
偽物だ。こんなの俺のものじゃない。
This is a fake. This isn't what's mine. Or is it? I can't help but feel self-hatred. Oh, really? All the time? Or just now? I feel like it's all the time. Amiyashiro's skills improve just by imitating him. I know it's not my own power, but I have to rely on it. Or is it your own power? It was because of his techniques that I was able to fight off those bone creatures at school. And it was because of his projected swords that I was able to fend off Kazuki's attacks. Even now. I know that I can reproduce those swords if I seriously follow the manufacturing process. You think you can reproduce them? You said to Tosaka you can't do it at any time. Was that a lie? Interesting. You're saying I know I can reproduce those swords if I seriously follow the manufacturing process. So you think you can do it on the fly. You said to Rin you can't, but that's because you were trying to hide something that you yourself don't understand?
強化と似て非なるもの。始まりと終わりを入れて、ちょうど8節に分ければいいんだよな。
It's falsely similar to strengthening. I just have to put the start and the finish, separate it into exactly 8 sections. He finds it easier than strengthening, because with strengthening he takes something that already exists and tries to put his magic into it. But it doesn't, it's like, it never works the best. He's better at making something from the start, from scratch, because his magic is so much stronger. It doesn't maybe mingle well with these things he's strengthening. I just have to put the start and finish, separating it into exactly 8 sections. Why 8? Now, not trace on, sympathy start, but trace on projection start. Wait, sympathy? Since when is projection sympathy? 8 sections like the 8 stages of archery? Oh, is that the reference? Cool callback. The words are still the same. There's no need to change the spell if it still works for me. First of all, I only know and can use one spell to change myself. Dash, dash. I put down the strengthened wooden sword. Okay, you're going to try to actually practice the projection. Good. The left side of my body is still numb. That sounds bad. The yin and yang. One side is numb, one side isn't. I was optimistic that it would heal if I rested today, but it wasn't that convenient. You also have not fucking rested today, by the way, at all. If this is the compensation for magic above my level, duplicating Archer's twin swords, I might destroy myself if I project one more time. Or, actually try resting. So the other time there was Rin who said, don't project anymore, but here it's you doubting yourself. Are you not actually going to try projecting the swords? Are you just imagining what it would be like? Phew. I removed the nerve inside my spine. So you didn't actually try. My body is free of the poison called the magic circuit, and tension escapes my body. And...
Shiro, 眠れないのですか?
Oh, Saber came in to check on me. Sure, you're not able to sleep? Maybe Saber's the one who really gets the heart of my situation again for the millionth time. Gosh, it's always Saber. Oh my god, Rin, still sucks at this? Jeez. Saber quietly comes inside.
いや、そういうわけじゃない。これは日課だから気にしないでくれ。
No, that's not it. This is my daily routine, so don't worry about it. I must be relaxed, done with my daily routine. I think Saber is just a relaxing presence for you. Especially with Rin's situation right now. My voice is surprisingly gentle.
今日は賑やかでしたね。
It was lively today.
そうだな。タイプは違えど、藤姉が2人いたようなもんだし。
Yeah, even though they're different, it was like having two Fujines here. I mean, they're very different, but I guess they both get on your nerves in a similar way. You show your Sun side around them. I answer her smile with a smile. Saber agrees and sits next to me.
しかし、今夜も魔術の鍛錬ですか。何があろうと予定は変えないのですね。
But you're training magic tonight as well? You do not change your routine no matter what happens.
ああ、欠かさずにやれっていうのが親父の教えだったからな。
Huh?
けどまあ、
Yeah.
教えてくれたのはそれだけだったけど。
It was my father's teaching to do it without a day's rest. Well, that's all he taught me, though. I mean, discipline is good. Getting into a habit is harder than breaking a habit. But, on days like this, I feel you should break it just once, maybe. Because, you're really fucked up.
それだけ？では、魔術師としての知識もあり方も享受されてはいないのですか?
Oh, we're not really going to talk about this? That is all? Then he has not taught you the Magus' way, or his knowledge?
ああ、そもそもさ、教えるべき本人が魔術師らしくなかったんだよ。
Nope. First of all, the one doing the teaching wasn't like a Magus.
困った大人だったな。普段はぼーっとしていて、どうも冴えなかった。楽しむときは思いっきり楽しむんだ。なんて言って、子供みたいにはしゃいで
He
た
was
し。
a troublesome adult. He was usually spaced out and clumsy. He said he's going to enjoy what he likes, and he would play around like a child. Hey, he let himself enjoy things. You should let yourself enjoy things too, Shiro. Learn from him from that. Learn from that. That's the legacy you should be taking on. The part where he actually was willing to let himself enjoy things after he, fucked a lot of shit up. He would play around like a child.
あれで、僕は魔法使いなんだ。なんて言われても、信じられないって。
You usually couldn't believe him when he called himself a sorcerer. I can tell that I'm smiling as I tell the story. Oh, hey, something you enjoy. If you're smiling, it means you enjoy it to some extent. You enjoy talking about your father. You enjoyed spending time with him. Maybe that's why you've been, depressed ever since, not had anything to enjoy much. I guess you enjoy the presence of, you enjoy the presence of other people sometimes. Like, you enjoy the presence of Sakura, I guess. But beyond just enjoying the presence of other people, I guess you could make an excuse that it's just to help them out. But with Kiritsugu, you can't help him out anymore. He's gone. I guess you can help him out from beyond the grave, though, and you are trying to do that. But it seems like there is some idea there of, you can enjoy things. You just have to let yourself. About my past. The 5 years between the time of the fire and Kiritsugu's death. Were those when you actually let yourself be happy? Before the burden? That is definitely like Rin in that case. Come to think of it, that might have been the best time of my life. Clear admission that after Kiritsugu died, things just got worse. So the time with Rin the time with Sakura hasn't been as good? The time before? You're saying anything before the fire wasn't as good? Hard to say. We have no clear idea of what his time before the, fire was like. He danced around the subject so much in Timeline 1. On purpose. He had to let his knowledge of that past life die. He didn't think he deserved to dwell on that past life. He didn't deserve to dwell on that past life. He's forced to focus on this one that was saved, for him, as it were. But maybe that's why he's thinking of that. Maybe when he says my life, that's all he's thinking of and isn't really dwelling on anything from before that. Maybe he doesn't even fully consider it his life. This is Shiro Emiya's life. Maybe that was Shiro some other last name's life.
なるほど。そういう死が好きだったのですね。
I see. So you liked him for who he was. So you said he was troublesome, but really you liked him, which means, tsundere child.
遠坂に聞かれたら怒られそうだけど、憧れてた。自由で全然魔術師っぽくなくても、俺にとってはキリツグこそが本当の魔法使いだったんだ。
Yeah, Tosaka might get angry if she hears it, but I admired him. He was free and not like a magus at all, but he was a true sorcerer to me.
まあ、それにさ、自分以上に子供っぽいんで、どうしても放っておけなかったってのもあるし。
And well, I couldn't leave him be because he was more immature than I was.
ええ、シローの気持ちはわかる。私にもメーガスはいたが、そいつも子供のような人物だった。
Yes, I understand how you feel. I had a magus of my own, but that one was immature as well. You mean Merlin? No, wait. Is that what you mean? Are we talking about King Arthur and Merlin? Because we haven't gotten to the part about how you're King Arthur in this timeline, technically. But a magus of your own.
そいつ？珍しいな。セイバーが人をそんな風に言うなんて。
That one? Wow, it's rare for you to address somebody like that.
いいえ、彼は例外です。あれはとんでもない老人だった。尊敬していたし、親愛も感じていましたが、
Okay.
同時にあらゆる厄介事のもとでした。
Right.
彼のいたずら好きさえなければ、もう少しまともな時代になったでしょう。
You talked about this a bit in Timeline 1, I think, just a tad. He's an exception. He was an ancient man. I respected him and loved him, but at the same time, he was the cause of every trouble. It would have been a better age if he was not as mischievous. Okay. So when did he die? Did he die after you died? Was he still alive when, all your bullshit happened at the end?
なんかすごいな、その言い方。
Wow.
まるで希代の悪人みたいじゃないか。
That's some way to put it. He sounds like a real bad guy.
悪人でした。加えて色ごとに弱いというか、愛の多い人物というか、結局最後にそれがあだとなって幽閉されてしまいました
Does he just have eternal age?
が、あの
Does he
老人
live
のこと
forever?
です。きっと今でものんきに愛を語っているのでしょう。
He was. Worse still, he was weak against love affairs. Or should I say full of love? Okay. He was a pervert, I understand. Sounds like a Shiro/Kiritsugu. Well, that led to the downfall that caused him to be confined. But knowing that old man, I'm sure he's still casually talking about love. Is he still alive? Did he crack some kind of non-aging magic? Worse still, he was weak against love affairs. Interesting. You started this by saying, oh, but I really liked him, but he was immature. I understand how you feel. Huh. So you like him, but also you think you're more mature than him. Maybe all along, though, they're more mature than you. You just don't know what it means to be mature. Quite possibly. Is she stunned or smiling? Probably both. You like the crazy old coots that have fun. You idolize them maybe for having fun despite the shit they've done. Saber did say he was ancient. But, like, what does that mean, ancient? You mean, like, 70, 80? Or do you mean hundreds of years old because he's cracked the magical serum of not dying? Saber talks about her past and swallows her words a bit. Oh? Because you can't let yourself wallow because of your own bullshit wish of wanting to undo things? Because you're, respecting the present now? And after a brief silence...
シロ、あなたの半身はどうなっているのです。
Okay, she cuts to the heart of it. Rin never fully got to the grips of it. Then again, she got sidetracked by my personal bullshit. She's gonna focus on the physical stuff. Shiro, what the fuck is up with the left side of your body? Thank you. Took you long enough, but at least you got there. She questions me with straight eyes about what I didn't want her to know.
なんだ、セイバー気づいてたのか。
What, you knew Saber?
あれだけ皿を割っていれば誰でも気がつきます。
Anyone will notice if you break that many plates.
それでどうなのです。見たところ異常があるのは半身だけのようですが。
So how is it? From what I see, it seems the trouble is only in half of your body. I guess the reasoning for why she didn't touch harder on this earlier was maybe she was hungry. Yeah. But also, there might have been some of this trusting Shiro because of their relationship. And he hasn't seemed as mentally unhealthy. There hasn't been much of a reason for her to think he's as mentally unhealthy. Well, there is the superhero wish thing, which he touched on. But, I guess, seeing a full day, she could have thought, well, maybe after what happened yesterday, he's just recovering from that a bit. But after it being like a full day, I can see her maybe being more casual, but confronting him at the end of the day. I guess that's fair. It was risky, especially if something, trouble happened today, but maybe she was also sidetracked with her own stuff because it's very possible, given that we still haven't resolved her own wish situation, and yesterday she was, kind of fucked up because of her fight with Kazuki about how, a regular person kicked her butt. Maybe she had to think about stuff there. I don't know. What I see, it seems the trouble is only in half of your body.
いや、異常ってほどのことじゃない。ただ、麻痺してるだけなんだから。
Well, it's not as bad as the trouble. It's just numb. Are you gonna mention how last night it was furious pain, like for 7 straight hours or something? I explained to her how it felt weird from this morning, how it's not affecting my movements, and how it's probably the feedback from last night's projection magic. I suppose, but what does it mean? And we, the audience, know that that's on some level bullshit, because you did this projection thing, a similar thing in Timeline 1, and never got any feedback like this. So, either it's specifically related to Archer, or at most, it might be because you haven't had your dragon sex yet. Ellipses. What are you thinking, Saber? What are you thinking? Saber looks at me with uneasy eyes. What are you thinking? When I try to smile back to her, telling her it's alright.
体の大部分が麻痺したままか。当然といえば当然だな。
Oh, he's staying over too. I didn't expect Archer to interrupt. It's only natural. Interesting. Does he know some things about things? Does he know some things about me? It was his swords that I summoned. Did I summon them? Did I steal them temporarily from him? Most of your body is numb, huh? Well, it is natural. The knight in red is standing at the door.
Archer.
Sup? Saber jumps up as if to protect me. To her, he's an enemy that assaulted me. True, that happened at one point. He also saved me. Dash dash. And he's an enemy to me as well. Okay, yeah, because of your freaking morals. That's true, though. Also, Archer was morally opposed after the school incident. Saber and Archer had a bit of a negative heart-to-heart. That's true, too.
理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
Drown in your ideals and die. Oh, right, yeah. So he's not saying that right now. It's just what he said earlier. Those words he said before he slashed me would not get out of my head. Right, that was when he attacked you at the temple. Because, Yeah, I think he was emotionally charged at that point because he was more talking to himself than anything. Because that's what happened with him. He drowned in his ideals and died. And that's what he was told all his life. But, so I think he was just emotionally charged seeing you because you did remind him of himself, and maybe you're also just the same person, you know. But he wouldn't know that because I think he still has amnesia, I would assume. Those words he said before he slashed me would not get out of my head. Because he doesn't want to drown in his ideals, or what? I mean, obviously you don't, but why do those specifically get stuck in your head? Because you are a death seeker, or you, to some extent, you want your death to have meaning. Maybe it's a self-admission, a self-understanding that is your ultimate goal, is to have ideals and have those ideals lead to your own death. But then you're like, wait, that's gross, I shouldn't have that happen?
何用だアーチャー。我らは互いに不可侵の協定を結んでいるはず。己が主の命を守るのなら、早々に立ち去るがよい。
What do you want, Archer? We should have a pact not to attack one another. Leave right away if you are to follow your master's order. Can't he just talk to us? Like, he doesn't have to attack us, right? Dash. Interesting. I think he came not because he's trying to start some drama. I think he actually, maybe when Shiro did the thing and summoned the Yin Yang swords, I think it fuzzed with Archer a little bit too, because, you know, they're the same fucking person. So I think he actually also wants to get to the bottom of this to some extent, and that's why he came, to have an actual real talk. Archer does not answer, but takes another step.
止まるがいい。それ以上進むのならば、相応の覚悟をしてもらおう。
Stop. You had better be prepared if you were to take another step. Saber's enmity turns into an intent to kill, but Archer might brush that off because he also is, to some extent, maybe not a death seeker at this point, but apathetic to his own death beyond just, you know, helping out as much as he can. Unless he does have the goal of doing something with the Grail, maybe. So maybe he'll want himself to live long enough to get to that point.
Yeah, 待つんだセイバー。あいつにその気はない。
Ooh, Shiro holds her off. Maybe because he feels some wiggly wogglies too. No, hold on, Saber. He's not willing to fight.
それに、ここで戦うわけにはいかないだろう。
And we can't fight here. Well, I mean, you did fight Lancer a little bit here, I guess. But, I mean, I guess you want to respect your dad's, you know, bloobity bloobity.
それはそうですが、シロ。
Also, you can't fight just in general here because, you know, Taiga is around still. That is true, but...
いいから。で、要件はなんだよ、アーチャー。
It's fine. So, what do you want, Archer?
お前のことだ。挨拶しに来たわけでもないんだろう。
Knowing you didn't just come here to say hello, right? I push Saber aside and confront Archer. Ooh, pushing her aside. Saying your shit is more important than her shit. Rude, but probably true. Ellipses! Exclamation point. I still don't like him. Our mentalities are different, but more than that, I just can't deal with him. I feel a chin running up my spine the instant I see him. Because it's a future you that you don't want to accept? Ooh. I bet he falls under the category of natural enemy.
おい、要件がないんなら出ていけ。
Hey, get out if you have no business.
投影をしたとリンから聞いていたが、やはりそうか。半身の感覚がなく、動作が中寄りに7センチほどずれているのだろう。
I heard you did projection, but it really is true, huh? Half your body is numb and your actions are misplaced about 7 centimeters inside of you, right? Yeah. What of it? 7 centimeters? That seems kind of exact. What of it? Because you're someone who does projection magic? Because that's what you do when you make your swords and shit? Is that what you're getting at? You're someone who projects, that's why the stuff fizzles pretty quickly? Maybe that's what he's getting at. Dash. I gasp. Archer's comment is so accurate that it's scary. Yeah, that part is weird. 7 centimeters.
体を見せてみろ。 力になれるかもしれん。
Let me see your body. I might be of some help. Even if this happened to Archer, why the hell did he measure exactly how he misplaced it? 7 centimeters. It's so exact. My left side is fucked. How fucked is it, though? Yeah. I mean, he does seem like the thorough type. Oh, maybe Archer's right body is numb. Oh, maybe that's what's happening right now. Shiro's whole left body is numb. Maybe Archer's right body is numb because when Shiro did the yin-yang swords, it did some wiggly-woggly because they're like the same person. This is like doing some weird like fusion dance almost, where their bodies are trying to fuse because they're both in the same timeline, but they shouldn't be because they are the one. And so it's like maybe Shiro's left side is and Archer's right side is also going maybe. I might be of some help. Archer reaches out. Ellipses! Exclamation point.
いい。よすんだ、セイバー。体を見せればいいんだな、アーチャー。
No, stop, Saber. I have to show you my body, right? Okay, actually, I was building up to, Ooh, Archer wants to see my body. No, stop, Saber. I have to show you my body, right? I take my top off and show him my back. Oh, is there physical signs of change if you take off the top? Dash dash dash. Archer silently places his hand on my back. Ooh! Lewd indeed. Oh, that's what you meant by lewd. Ooh, there's a connection. There's a feel of feeling. What's the feeling happening? Are we having a feeling off? Feelings. Dash, dash. I feel a small pain. Sensation. I feel heat on the numb left side of my body as if needles are picking at it. I feel heat on the numb left... You know, last time we had dragon sex with Saber. Maybe this time it's time to have dragon sex with Archer. I feel heat on the numb left side of my body, as if needles are picking at it. Okay. So you had a bunch of pain last night. Did Archer feel similar pain? Or did his pain only spread to the numbness that he has now? That Archer theoretically has on his right side? The numb left side of my body, as if needles are picking at it. Is he trying to fix you up, or is he trying to just figure out what's up with you?
運のいい男だ。壊死していると思ったが、閉じていたものを開いただけか。
Are you deflecting?
これならば数日もすれば回復しよう。
How fortunate for you. I thought it was necrosis, but you only opened up what was closed. This should heal within a few days. You only opened up what was closed. What was closed exactly? Heal within a few days. Are you deflecting? You seem to really care. Why would you care? Maybe he cares because of some innate connection, or maybe, you know, he's just a softie who likes other people. And yet he can't stand to like me, and I can't stand to like him because we are each other and we have self-hatred. That's why we hate each other, because we are ourselves. Makes sense. I thought it was necrosis, but you only opened up what was closed. This should heal within a few days. I feel like you're deflecting. This is too easy of an answer. Give me a more complicated, plot twisty answer.
閉じていたものが開いた。
Something closed opened up? What closed? What was opened? What was closed?
そうだ。お前は勘違いをしているようだがな。魔術回路とは作るものではなく表すものだ。一度作ってしまえば、あとは表面に出すか出さないかのものでしかない。
Yes, it seems you have misunderstood, but a magic circuit is not something you make each time, but something you reveal. Yeah, Rin goes over with that with us in Timeline 1, but I guess you're the first one really telling us that in Timeline 2. Once you make it, it's something you reveal on the surface or not. So yeah, once you have it, it's always there. It's just about getting back to it. And Shiro always does it the hard way because he was never taught the right way. Because then, granted, the right way requires some amount of drugs without a magical crest. So.
そのような勘違いをしているから本来使われるはずの回路が放棄され眠っていたのだ。
You did not know this, so a circuit that should have been used was neglected and sleeping inside of you. It seems you have misunderstood, but a magic circuit is not something you make each time, but something you reveal. Once you make it, it is something you reveal on the surface or not. Wait, am I understanding right or am I misunderstanding what he's saying? You only opened up what was closed. He had to use his hidden Nine Tails chakra magic circuit to do the projection? Is that what you're saying? So he keeps making a magic circuit because he's not a real mage, but you're saying he has a magic circuit that's already cool and magical. Magic circuit is not something you make each time, but something you reveal. Once you make it, it's something you reveal on the surface or not. You did not know this, so a circuit that should have been used was neglected and sleeping inside of you. Huh. So are you saying I keep remaking it even though I don't need to? Because I already made it the first time 8 years ago? Or are you saying I always had one? Are you saying I always had one? I don't know if it's like the same thing or if it's more complicated than that. I don't know if he's saying there's like a Nine Tails chakra circuit that's inside of me that I've been not using and then I had to use for the projection because it's awesome. And that's why maybe when Saber ate up some of my magic, it was only eating up my non-Nine Tails chakra. And so I could still use my Nine Tails chakra. I don't know if that's what he means or if he just means that I made it the first time and then, like Tosaka's explanation, I should be able to normally connect it. And maybe after projecting, my body is sort of fixing itself to naturally let me connect it without the drugs? I guess. And it, you know, I didn't use drugs, so there was a lot of pain, and that's why you would have drugs, so there's no pain? I suppose.
お前の死や輪には考えられない盲点だろうよ。まっとうな魔術師ならば、通常の神経そのものが回路になっている異端など知りもしまい。
It is something your master or Rin would not think of. Your master? I have a master? You mean Saber? She's not my... Okay. Or you mean my teacher? A legitimate magus would never imagine a heretic whose nerves are his magic circuit. It seems you have misunderstood, but a magic circuit is not something you make each time, but something you reveal. You did not know this, so a circuit should have been used was neglected. It is something your master or Rin would not think of. A legitimate magus would never imagine a heretic whose nerves are his magic circuit. So he's been using his nerves, he's been remaking it each time, even though he can just use the one that's already there and turn it on. Right. I think I get it, because he's been doing it hard the whole time. They did say that in Timeline 1, but I don't know if this is slightly different or if he's just explaining the same thing that Rin did in Timeline 1.
お前の麻痺は一時的なものだ。今まであったというのに使われていなかった回路に全開で魔力を通した結果、回路そのものが驚いている状態だろう。
Your numbness is temporary. It is the result of full magical energy flowing into a circuit you have not used before, and it's only surprised right now. Makes sense? You have not used before. No, okay, so I think you are saying that he has a 9... Now, I don't know if this is the same thing Ren said, but the way he's saying it leads me to believe that I had a circuit I wasn't using. I was making my own simulation circuit when I didn't need to, because I already had a separate one that I just turn on and off. In the other timeline, the drugs, but in this timeline is just one I've been neglecting because I didn't know it was there, question mark? Again, it's been a while, maybe I just don't remember Rin's explanation very well, but... So I don't know if these are technically they're saying the same thing or not, but... It's similar, so maybe it is. I'm only surprised right now.
だが何にせよ、放棄されていた区画に風が通ったのだ。
But
いず
now,
れ神経は通常の機能を思い出すし、
a wind has gone through the
放棄されてい
neglected
た回路
section.
はこれで現役
The
に戻っ
nerve
たと
will
いう
eventually
ことだ。
recall its normal function. The nerve will eventually recall its normal function. The nerve that is the nerve of the magic circuit, and the dormant circuit is now activated. So you're saying I didn't need drugs, I just needed several hours of pain and then a numb body for half the time. Why didn't you just tell me that, Rin? I could have just taken the several hours of pain. That's totally the better option. You don't know. Those drugs could mess me up, maybe. A wind has gone through the neglected section. The nerve will eventually recall its normal function and the dormant circuit is now activated. So you say it's a dormant circuit and that this just activated it, but that's implying that me turning on, you know, making my new circuit each time, doing my training, is not using that circuit. That it's just been there and I've been ignoring it. So why is it there and where did it come from? Are you suggesting the first time I ever made it 8 years ago, that was the circuit I made? Or do you mean it was there from before? I guess you wouldn't necessarily know, but this suggests to me like it's a circuit, you know, that it's a powerful circuit, given, you know, is it powerful because of my crazy training in the wrong way? Because of training the wrong way for so long, has it powered up my circuit? Or is it more powerful just because I have the nine-tailed fox sealed inside me? Dash, dash. Oh, 408 drop frames. We were doing so good for so long. We were up to like 124, and then suddenly, we dropped a few. Oh well. The needles poke my back again. I feel a definite thumping from my numb body.
こんなところか。体が動く頃には以前よりはマシな魔術師になっているだろう。何にせよ、俺の刀を作るなど、初めにしては欲張りすぎる。
That should do. You should be a better magus when your body heals. At any rate, you're too greedy if you try to make my swords the first time. What, you think I should go for some easier swords to make? Maybe the main circuit was just eating all those nerves, and that's why he was failing every time. Normally he fails all the time, and the reason he fails all the time is because he's got an actual real circuit, and he keeps like making a fake one, and the real circuit's like, what the fuck, bro? Use me! And so it conflicts and doesn't work properly. That makes sense to me. You're too greedy if you try to make my swords the first time. Archer, let's go.
では、シロの体に異常はないと。
Then there's nothing abnormal with Shiro's body? I don't know. That seems abnormal. Are you deflecting, Archer? Is there something abnormal with your body too?
今までが異常だったのだ。いや、異常を眠らせたまま終わるのが正常な人間のせいだ。その点で言えば、エミやシロはすでに異常だが。
It was abnormal up till now. No. It is normal for humans to keep such abnormalities asleep inside them. In that regard, Emi Shiro is already abnormal, but oh well. The real circuit was the friends we made along the way. Huh. It was abnormal up till now. No, it's normal for humans to keep such abnormalities. In that regard, Emi Shiro. Okay, the music stopped for a second, and I thought something was going wrong with me. I'm like, am I deaf in one ear? I think there was a little bit of wax built up in my ear, though. And that conflicted at the exact same wrong moment. It's normal for humans to keep such abnormalities asleep inside them. In that regard, Emi Shiro is already abnormal because he's not abnormal? Or because he doesn't have the abnormalities inside of him? Or what do you mean? Do you mean I'm special because I'm not special? Or I'm not special I'm special because I'm weak? Knows so much, but he's hiding and deflecting. He definitely seems to be deflecting. Like the way he says, Emi Shiro is already abnormal in that regard. In the abnormalness that you keep abnormalities, he doesn't keep abnormalities. I'm not abnormal? What do you mean I'm not abnormal? I'm normal because I'm not abnormal? Do you mean that my innards should be fucked? Maybe humans' innards are weird and that's why they can't do a lot of inner magic? But I can do inner magic because my innards are Mary Sue?
ともあれ、明日一日は魔術を使おうと思うなよ。治りかけた神経が焼き付いたら、麻痺では済まん。
Anyway, don't even think about using magic tomorrow. Numbness will be the least of your worries if you burn out the healing nerves. Okay, so we did it without drugs. We did it the well, Archer probably, he messed with us a little bit and probably fixed us. So, we maybe needed a little bit of drug-inducedness anyways. But we got there. We got our circuit to be kind of complete. Now maybe we can get Saber to eat some of her chakra at some point soon.
詳しいのですね、アーチャー。
You are knowledgeable, Archer. Indeed. Almost like he went this before in the future, man. At least your worries if you burn out the healing nerves.
似たような経験があってな。私も初めは片腕を持っていかれた。新しい魔術を身につけるとは、そういうことだ。
I had a similar experience. I had one of my arms taken away when I did it for the first time. That is what it means to learn a new magic. One of your arms taken away for the first time? Sounds suspicious that it's so similar. I feel like you're deflecting. I don't think you necessarily remember. It just feels like something that happened to you. He turns and tries to leave.
待てよ。
Hold on. I stop him. I want to know why he helped me now after trying to kill me before.
なんだセイバーに頼み込んで
What? Are you gonna ask Saber to fight me?
するつもりか
そんなことするか。ただ聞きたいだけだ。
I
お
won't do
前が
such
言
a
い捨てや
thing.
がったセリフがどんな意味なのかってな。
I just want to ask about what you said before. Drown in your ideals and die. The meaning of it. The uneasiness in my brain won't go away unless I hear it out from him.
言葉通りの意味だ付け加えるものはない
It's just as it sounds. There's nothing to explain. There's no hesitation. Archer declares seriously. That pisses me off so much that my whole vision turns white. He wants an explanation. He wants Archer to, throw up some bullshit excuse. Instead, he just sticks firm to what he said. And that makes Shiro mad. Makes sense.
じゃあお前はなんだ、アーチャー。
Then what? Archer?
理想を抱くなというお前は何のために戦ってるんだ。
You claim to not have any ideals, so what are you fighting for?
サーバントはみんな自分の目的があるんだろう。なら、お前の戦う意義ってなんだ。
Servants have an
理想がない
objective,
お前
right?
は何のために戦うんだ。
Then what's the reason you fight? If you don't have an ideal, what are you fighting for?
知れたこと私の戦う意義は
It is
ただ己
simple.
のためのみだ
I fight for myself.
つまらぬ正常大義理想
Boring ways of the world. Justice. Ideal.
そんな不確かな意義など偽物だ剣を取るのはただ己が欲望の成就のため
Such vague reasons are
それ以外
meaningless.
理由などない
I fight to fulfill my own desires. There's no other reason. Seems like a hard deflection if I've ever heard one. Based on what we know about him now, especially from Rin's dream. You claim to have, and of course it's going to piss Shiro off. You claim to not have ideals, so what are you fighting for? Because Shiro's direction feels so like he doesn't know where he's going, and Archer seems so confident in his stance. What's the reason you fight? If you don't have an ideal, what are you fighting for? You told me to drown in my ideals and die. What are your ideals? What are you doing? It's simple. I fight for myself. Boring ways of the world like justice and ideal. He is, I'd say, doing his ideals, but rather he already did his ideals, debatably. And then he died. And now he's mad at the world for bringing him back when he already let himself die. Because he doesn't think he deserves. Or, Andy's also seen all the hatred at this point. Rin's dream made that clear to us. And he doesn't like, that he still keeps doing it. These are the things he says, but his actions disagree with the things he says. Such vague reasons. And he hates that he's still like this. He hates that he still feels the need to always help because he sees all the badness. And he doesn't like it, yet he still feels the need to do it. So when confronted with someone like Shiro with the same ideals that led him to this path, he just wants to say, God, that's so stupid. He will still keep doing those things, though, but he just has to say how stupid it is because he hates it. He triggers Shiro on purpose because he sees himself. If he is Shiro and he's seen so much of the worst of humanity, the self-hatred issues must have lessened a bit. Maybe, but again, this could just be a deflection. Or maybe when you hate so much of the rest, it's hard to, It could be deflection, though, as well. Such vague reasons are meaningless. I fight to fulfill my own desires. There's no other reason. This could just be him spewing off lines, but in reality, the only desires he has is to help others, possibly. Which might sound selfish the way he says it, but when he doesn't say the full thing, you know. He just deflects much more. He's a much harder Sun, but I don't think his self-hatred is necessarily gone if he is Shiro. Yourself? Just for your own self? The dream did say no one understood Archer. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't even understand himself anymore.
そうだ。お前の欲望が誰も傷つけないという理想であるのなら好きにするがいい。そんなに他人を救いたければ救えばよかろう。
Yes. Do as you wish if your desire is an Do as you wish if your desire is an ideal not to hurt anybody. If you want to... That feels like there should be some commas there. Yes. Do as you wish. If your desire is an ideal not to hurt anybody. If you want to save others so much, go ahead. Just make sure to succeed at doing it. Don't suck at doing it. Makes sense that he would feel like that, given how, you know, he succeeded at saving as many people as he could around him, but he still would have wished that he could have saved more. Do as you wish if your desire is an ideal, not to hurt anybody.
ただし、それが
Ooh,
本当にお前自身の欲望ならばな。
that's a good line. But only if it is truly your desire, your own desire. Not something you're leeching off of Kiritsugu. Now, why did you feel the need to say that, Archer? Because you've been down this road and you know how dark and dirty it gets? Because you were the road and you're like, it gets kind of crusty, but like, it is something I still want to do. So you're testing him to see if it is something he still wants to do, or if he's just, you know, piggybacking off Kiritsugu's desire without really wanting to desire it himself. But how would you even know to question that beyond just, you know, how similar the two of you are? Or if there's, you know, something more. What? My mind freezes. What did he just say? Yeah, he really cut to the heart of it, when he shouldn't have necessarily even known your bullshit. And yet he seems to know your bullshit. Only if it truly is your own desire. Yeah, he shouldn't necessarily know that about you, but he seems to. Either he's just really good at reading you, which is very possible, or there's a connection.
自分の意志で戦うのならば、その罪も罰も全て自分が生み出したもの。背負うことすら理想のうちだ。
If you are fighting out of your own will, the resulting crime and punishment are all yours. The ideal requires that you be burdened with them.
だが、それが借り物の意志であるなら、お前の唱える理想は
But if it is a borrowed intention, the ideal you speak of is only a fantasy. Yeah, never something you'll really achieve, because you'll never have the guts to actually go for it, to only find out the truth that, you know, there's so much dirtiness there that you didn't want. In a word, it is a fake.
戦いには理由がいる。だがそれは理想であってはならない。理想のために戦うのなら、救えるのは理想だけだ。
You need a reason to fight, but it cannot be an ideal. If you fight for ideals, the only thing you can save are ideals.
そこに人を助ける道はない。
There's no way you can save people. Yeah, fitting. Shiro cares so much about this ideal, you know, of Kiritsugu being a superhero and wanting to be the superhero too. He wants to protect that image so badly that he maybe risks sacrificing people trying to save that image. Very, very true. Because, you know, if saving people requires you to sacrifice that ideal image, then shouldn't you do it? Unless, again, you care more about protecting the fantasy than you do about actually protecting people. It's a good line. I can't talk. I can't think of any objections. Archer's words pierce my heart like arrows. Which makes sense, because he's an archer, yeah! Oh, that's a nice heart-to-heart. Also, OBS disconnected. Too strong! The revelations are too strong! Oh, that's funny. Woof. So, I guess we're back. I don't know how much of that cut out. I guess there was a slight whoopsie there. But, yeah, I don't know how much you missed, exactly. Because that was a little bit deep. I was actually in a bit of a beat here. And then suddenly it did a cut. Anyways. Archer's words pierce my heart like arrows. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love, especially if, Archer is Shiro. Then it's, that's what he needs to really get to him. Someone to really say the things that, he needs to confront. If anyone's going to say it, it's himself from the future. Or someone a lot like himself. I love that line. I love it because that's so true. That's so true to what he's been doing. He's just been spinning his wheels because he doesn't know how to actually confront it. Because he doesn't care about actually doing it. He just wants to protect the ideal. And he doesn't know how to do it in the ideal way. And then Archer's like, you could have been saving so many people all your life, basically. But you just haven't been. Because you've been thinking, how do I do this in a way that protects the ideal? But, like, you're so worried about the ideal, you're not actually protecting the people. It's a great line to throw at him. I love the interactions between Archer and Shiro. They're great. They're so great. Of course, as soon as his words pierced my heart like arrows, I have a freaking disconnect. I don't know if that's exactly what happened. Might have been slightly earlier, but, woof. Can't think of any objections. But it goes for the same as Saber as well. Oh, yeah, because there is some similarities between Saber and Shiro. Saber's also fighting for something of an ideal. She wants a version of history where she, didn't fuck things up for them. Instead of maybe fighting for the present or, whatever happened with the past. She has her own version of an ideal, but it's a more fucked up ideal, I suppose. Goes the same for Saber as well.
戦う意義とは何かを助けたいという願望だ。
The reason why one fights is a desire to try to save something.
少なくともお前にとってはそうだろう、エミヤシロ。
At least that is the case for you, Emiyashiro. Isn't that right? Dash, dash, dash.
だが他者による救いは救いではない。人を叶えるのは本人の意志と結果だけだ。
But salvation brought on by others is not a salvation. The only thing that saves a person is their own will and actions. Good, good, good. Good points. All the good points. Did you say Sabe? Or did you typo when you said Sabe? Or did you mean to say Sabe? B is right next to V on the keyboard. Because I think of Sabor. Saber. Save something, but not save someone. The only thing that saves a person is their own will and actions.
他人による救いなどそんなものは金貨と同じだよ。
Salvation brought on by others is like money. Money? That's an interesting way to put it. What do you mean, like, if you save someone because you were saved by someone, it's like a money transaction? Like, they paid you 100 gold, therefore you should pay this 100 gold to others. I guess, debatably, that's how Shiro, thinks of himself. Is that, there's this transaction where he was saved by Kiritsugu, now he's got to pay off that transaction by saving other people. And yeah, that's just, in a way, thinking of it like money. Instead of doing it because he actually wants to save people, he just thinks he has to. He, owes some kind of debt. True people can help and assist you. Only you can truly solve your own problems in the long term. Long 7. Drown in your exposition and die. Drown in your crappy... in your mandarins.
使えば他人の手に回ってしまう。
Once it is used, it will only go on to someone else. Aha! Kiritsugu might save you, Shiro, and you might save someone else and pass on your bullshit to them, but then they'll just be burdened with the bullshit. So unless you actually want to do it, you shouldn't bother with the burden or even burdening someone else. Which also goes into Tosaka's issues. And just magical association in general and, the passing on the torch and the burdens. It's like a transaction. You were paid, so you have to pay it off before you can free yourself. You have to have your own Tosaka child and pass on the traditions and all that shit to them before you can even try to free yourself or whatever. Instead of just doing it because it's something you want to do. Dash, dash. I can't speak. Something. I have to say he's wrong, so why? Because you can't, because he's right. He's beautiful and he's right. He's right and he's beautiful. We can't even see his face right now, but you know he's beautiful.
だから無意味なんだ。お前の理想は。
That is why your ideal is meaningless.
確かに、誰かを救うなどというお前の望みは達成できるだろう。
Oh.
だがそこには
Cutting even deeper.
お前自身を救うという望みがない。
You can certainly fulfill your wish to save someone, but a wish for you to save yourself does not exist. Exactly. You're gonna save someone and then just let yourself die. This is what I was saying before about his whole death seeker mentality. Was he wanted to live long enough so that he could save someone and then just let himself die happy that he, passed on. He saved someone and theoretically could have thought that, oh, let's pretend Kiritsugu saved that person because that's better. They're worth living more than I am. But yeah, if you don't have a wish to save yourself, then you're not going to live long enough to keep saving people. You're just going to save someone, say, I did my part, and then peace out. Yep, all that Shiro subtext is becoming text. It's great. You can certainly fulfill your wish to save someone, but a wish for you to save yourself does not exist. You'll save someone, die, and then won't be able to save anyone else. So, you're not a very good superhero if you save someone else and just get, peace out.
お前はお前のものではない理想を抱いておそらくは死ぬまで繰り返す。
Probably die because of it. You will embrace an ideal that is not yours, and you'll probably pursue it until you die. Pursue it until you die. No, that's Chigao, yo! But it's not Chigao, yo. It is not Chiganai, yo. Japanese. It's not wrong. That's all I wanted to say. And he said it so cool, and he says it with his back turned the whole time. Such a cool way of saying it. There is nothing at the end of helping people. It is a false life that can save neither yourself nor others. There is nothing at the end of helping people. Helping people is just helping people. If you can't even help yourself, is it because you yourself have a problem with helping yourself? You did end up dying at the end, but you felt content because you saved as many people as you could. I guess that's true. So it's a little different. It's a false life that can save neither yourself nor others. Debatably, it saves others, but if you save someone and then die, they'll just be sad that their savior died. So they'll end up being burdened with some amount of guilt too. So yeah, you save someone and just die, you're not being a proper savior. I can agree to that. There's a difference between, oh shit, a terrible situation, I really have to sacrifice myself to save this person, and, being okay with death happening because you fulfilled your quota of saving someone. I think Archer took his cynicism too far. Helping people is fine, only if that makes you happy as well. We need a happy balance. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's what he's saying, but yes, helping people, you should be willing to help people. If you want to help people for a living, let's say, you should probably enjoy helping people. There should be a balance, but if you don't really enjoy helping people, then maybe that's not what you should focus on because it'll just be gross for everyone involved. He turns his red back to us and leaves. Dash, dash, dash. Dash, dash, dash. I can't think of anything to say. The darkness falls. We cannot look at one another and just stare at the back of the guy who's no longer there. Oh, yeah. Because both of us, feel super awkward because we have our own ideals. I argue Shiro's ideal is at least better than Saber's ideal. Uh-huh. And what? Day change? Oh, day change. At first I was thinking witchcraft. At first I was thinking we would get to the day change and stop, but then I'm like, no, I'm probably going to end up stopping earlier. But then I got too into it, so we didn't stop earlier. We're still stopping earlier than I normally stop on a day like this. However, I was planning to stop earlier than this, but I didn't because I was interested in that. So we got to the day change. Anyways, that Archer insight. Save. So we got some fancy Archer insight. We're getting really to the heart of, Shiro. And maybe even Saber is going to... Maybe Archer will save Saber's bullshit as well. He'll save them both at once. We'll skip to the part where Saber's actually evolved because Archer did it for her. In which case, either Shiro would have been the one doing it because, he's still just Shiro. But yeah, Archer, he gets to the heart of it. He's very cynical, very cold outwardly, but I think he's a big softy inside, and I think it's just because of all the hatred he's seen. And yeah, he makes a good point. And Rin's just raiding the kitchen. Rin is planning for how she's going to fix Shiro tomorrow, not realizing Archer, if she does succeed in fixing him tomorrow, Archer is already, beat her to the punch. Although, they're going after different aspects. Archer is focusing on why do you want to save people, and Ren is like, you should be happy. So, now they might complement each other, but I guess they are different angles. Anyways, we're going to stop here. I just realized my stream technically counts as, it says live 349, but I think that's a lie. After we got back on, it's probably only been a few minutes, so it might be short. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to make it a short part 2. I've done that before, but I'll see you guys next time. Still no Joe Phrase. And Witchcraft. That'll be interesting. Stop recording.